40 years ago, we opened our doors with one mission in mind.
We'll be right back with the top 10 songs of 1983.
To sell quality American-made vehicles at a fair price.
You have arrived.
And we've loved every minute of the ride. Celebrating 40 years of Two Rivers Ford.
.601, good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com sports desk. One of the top prospects in next month's NFL draft, former Georgia defensive tackle Jalen Carter, has been charged with reckless driving and racing in connection with a crash that killed a teammate and a recruiting staff member. An arrest warrant alleges Carter was racing his vehicle against the vehicle of the recruiting staffer, which led to the January 15th wreck. According to reports, Carter was present at the scene of the crash and later provided changing accounts of the wreck to police. The initial report was that it was a single vehicle accident. College basketball yesterday, Vanderbilt upset number 23 Kentucky 68-66 in Lexington. It was Vandy's first win at Rupp Arena since January 2007. Jordan Wright hit the game-winning shot with under 3 seconds remaining. He finished with 23 points. And the Nashville Predators traded forward Mikael Granlund to the Pittsburgh Penguins for a 2023 second-round pick. The Preds now have 13 picks in the upcoming draft. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Thursday morning edition, off and running in beautiful Music City, USA. And coming up this morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, drills begin at the NFL Combine. Coach Tate McGinnis and Buck Reising break down the prospects who can help themselves the most this week. And we break down the next steps for Tennessee basketball with Zakai Ziegler officially done for the season. We are Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors, with Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, and Jonathan Schaefer, our producer.
The best producer in the world.
My name is Will Bowling. Good morning.
Good morning.
March
Will.
2nd, 2023.
I guess I'm Johnny Cash today on the show.
Yeah, you are. All black
What do you
and
mean?
everything.
Well, I'm wearing all black.
You got
Oh,
all
okay.
black on.
Johnny Cash.
Just here for it. I had a buddy of mine come in town and wanted to go to the Johnny Cash Museum, was really adamant. It was like, I got to go see this.
People always are intrigued by that. That's one of the first questions I get when people come to visit. So what about that Johnny Cash Museum?
Really?
And then I think there's a speakeasy somewhere around there.
Yeah,
Is it?
there are a
believe
couple
so.
over there.
Okay. Yeah, the Johnny. Have y'all been to it yet?
No,
Not yet?
No.
Johnny Cash, man.
I haven't even been to the Opry.
I haven't either. Well,
least
wait,
I've
you haven't
done
been to
it.
the Opry and
What?
you've lived here?
Oh, yeah, no.
Oh,
No chance.
wow.
Wait,
No
no.
chance, he says.
Y'all get in my case about
No
the Pancake
chance.
Pantry. You've lived here your whole life and haven't gone to the Opry?
I mean,
Yeah.
Pancake Pantry is a little more.
Yeah,
That's
y'all get on me about the
worse.
rhyme, and here you go, not going to the
Ramon,
Opry.
you
Like,
just step
Ryman's
back.
worse, too.
No, absolutely not. Hell
you
no.
just step back.
No, not stepping back. Y'all some frauds out here.
You've been to the Opry.
Yes, I have been to
And
the
what'd you
Opry.
see?
I saw the floor with the mic right there. It's
No,
a beautiful
what'd you
wood
see
floor.
at the
I didn't
Opry?
see. I just walked
Exactly.
in it. I didn't go see a show. That's two
Okay,
different
well, then
things.
that's-
Yeah,
The devil's in
no,
the
we're not
detail.
talking about, we're seeing a show.
I hadn't seen a show.
That's what
Absolutely
I'm
not.
saying.
But
You were
to
not
actually
absolved of
see it,
crimes.
Will hadn't even actually saw it.
No.
See? He's worse than me.
It's far away from Brentwood.
Oh,
my
my God.
And I've come around on this. Because now,
Oh, goodness.
because now
It's far, he
Brentwood is
says.
not the. It is far
I
from
love
Brentwood.
it.
100%.
No.
Because, well, then it was because I lived there. Now Brentwood, you realize, is not the center of Middle Tennessee, obviously.
Heel turn. This is a heel turn. This is what this is. Pure
so
heel
in
turn.
Brentwood, I'd be like, God, I've got to go all the way to Mount Juliet. And now that I'm in the downtown area, it's like, oh, Mount Juliet's as far away as Brentwood is.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but you're downtown.
Right.
See, for Moan, it doesn't matter because he lives in Hendersonville.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Everything
he's
is
like
far from me.
everything, everything's far. So
But
you don't.
You're not too far.
That's why we don't leave Sumner County because it's fantastic.
But see, I've never been the type though to like put myself in one specific area. Like I was first introduced to this in Pittsburgh. People in Pittsburgh don't leave other side. Don't leave their side of the town. I've always been like, okay, well, maybe because I was raised in the country, like that I'll drive anywhere. Like to go anywhere was a task. You know what
yeah,
I'm
that's
saying?
probably why.
Do they
So-
throw water bottles across town?
I mean, we
traffic?
actually send pigeons to actually
do at
call
Neyland
people.
Stadium.
But what I'm saying is like, I hear you. It's never been a thing to not drive somewhere. You know how many times I've left Hendersonville, go to the mall in Cool Springs?
Cool Springs.
Oh, that's far.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
now
that's-
that is far.
That's a little bit.
But
much.
it don't.
You wouldn't
like,
go to Green Hills? That's not closer?
I think, yeah, I would, but like I just skip over that and go to. I'd go to Cool Springs. I think like Green Hills is too congested to actually get into at
I
times.
get that part
There's
of it.
some truth to that.
Well, so
Yeah.
is
No,
Cool
I get
Springs.
that.
No, there's
Not as
way
bad
more
as Green
parking.
Hills.
And
I'm not talking about the mall itself, but the interstate and Mallory Lane and all those roads around Cool Springs takes forever.
no, absolutely not. See, I'm not
What
going
time
on
are you
Saturdays though. I'm
Okay, I
not.
know that.
I'm not going at like
If
prime
you're going on
times.
Saturday, something's wrong.
Like I'd go like 10 to like 2 o'clock.
Oh, okay, well, that's not bad.
Yeah,
That's not bad
But to
anyway.
drive, yeah.
That's not bad in Green Hills.
Well, yes, the heck it is.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
Green Hills and Opry Mills,
You
man.
just got to know how to navigate.
Opry Mills right down the street, and I'm just like, nah, I'd rather go to Cool
Oh, yeah,
Springs.
Opry Mills is bad. That's why I've never been to the Opry.
When we bring
That's
it
weak.
and we bring
That's
it back
I know,
around.
man. He's
Well,
playing
you're
my
40
role
years
right
old. You
now.
should have been to the Opry by now.
I thought he was
Yeah, I
60.
thought she was gonna perform by now.
Yeah, you're 70. You should have been to the Opry by now.
He is looking for that country music deal that we were talking about.
So
the
you-
other
Never
day.
country music. I never wanted to sing country music.
You much rather stay in your side of the town.
Well, it wasn't even that. It's just like, I mean, I couldn't drive until I only had like 2 years left of living here.
I was just speaking about like even now. Like,
Oh, now? I mean, I don't know.
yeah, downtown is where you hang.
No, Not really.
Okay.
We make
I was
our
just
way
wondering
around.
as far as like mall visits.
Because
and
I'm
stuff.
centrally located. I don't go to the mall. The worst. That's true. Wow.
Oh my gosh, that was not live, y'all.
Not a big mall guy.
Not y'all.
Not a big mall guy.
Well, I mean, not many people are these days.
The closest I got to a mall was the most recent episode of The Last of Us that made all of us cry again. I need someone to watch some of the shows I watch. That way I can talk about it with
Kids,
any of you
Will.
on the
Life, Will. We got none of those.
Yeah,
things
but I
right
think
now.
it's
an hour
also.
a week.
I think it's
You'll be
also.
fine.
I think it's also become a generational thing because, and it's not a criticism. It's just because things are different. You'll just have everything delivered to your house.
Oh, that's true too.
Oh, I can't do that.
If I need like a pen, be like, I'll order it on Amazon, sign this tomorrow.
I have to though. I can't. That's pretty.
Well, Kayla, you did have
right
like
there.
a sausage egg biscuit delivered to your house, or a donut.
No,
one
I had
donut.
donuts
One
because I
donut.
was lazy that day or a couple
Well, that's
days.
great. I fully endorse that.
Sometimes
Full
I stopped
context.
doing that. Okay, because I learned
True,
that's not good.
but full context.
Bad, Kayla.
The mall was
Kyla
never,
came out.
Kyla came out.
I
with
keep
those
meal delivery
donut orders.
services thriving. Like their stock is up because I exist.
By the way, I watch Outer Banks. Do you not watch Outer Banks?
Never have.
Well, then we're not
I
on the
don't
same
watch
page.
Snowfall. She made
were
it
not
a
on the
point
same
to make
page.
it a point. You made it
You
a
said that
point.
we don't. I watch tons of shows. We just don't clearly watch the
We
same
both watched
ones.
The Bachelor.
Yeah, I just haven't caught up. I haven't.
I haven't
I don't
either.
like him. I don't find
You
him
don't like Zach?
attractive. I don't find him
I
charming.
think he's a nice guy.
Well,
Oh, we have to explore this now.
Who is this Thursday version of Will?
What are you talking about? Zach's a nice guy.
Who's the Thursday version
Zach
of
can
Will?
go back to wherever he's from.
I mean, he's not very
Give me a new
interesting.
Bachelor.
Like he's not super entertaining, but he's a really nice guy.
This Thursday version, Moan.
Yeah.
It's the real Will.
What are you talking about? Of course, this is a real me.
Take the surprise out your voice.
I don't have a fake version of me on the show. It's not what I believe in, nor not what this show believes in.
It's not, but I like the dicey, more like edgy Will now, man. Heck, talk your crap, man. You almost got me about to go for you, Will. Let's
Go in here. We in this thing.
We in this thing. 100%, dog.
Coming up this morning on the show, Buck Reising in like 10 minutes.
Wait,
He's up early.
he's up this early?
Yeah.
Buck be getting his workout in.
I have to be done by 7:30.
Well, we have to break down Indiana's loss to Iowa in basketball as quickly as possible. on this
I have to
morning show.
record all these scrums that nobody watches.
Oh, God.
Coach Mack at 7:20, and Kayla, we go to Knoxville for a new guest on the
Yeah.
show today at 8:20.
We're digging into the TV side of things.
That's right.
When I worked at News 2, Reece Van Haaften, he's at our affiliate in Knoxville, and that is WATE, WATE.
Yes.
He'll talk some balls with us.
Looking forward to that. With Zakai Ziegler's injury becoming official yesterday, and the next steps for Tennessee basketball coming up over the next couple of weeks. And after that, Buck Reising did sit down with Rand Carthon and Mike Vrabel. We'll give you some of the audio of that as the show continues this morning as well. 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in. And coming up next, the co-host of the Lucas Panzica Show, Buck Reising, will join us live from Indianapolis. The most interesting guys that he's talked to so far in Indy, and the biggest thing he took away from his conversations with Carthon and Vrabel yesterday. On the other side, it's Simone, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors, and it's 104.5 The Zone.
Finding value is important all the time, but especially these days. And that's why I'm so confident in recommending Genesis Diamonds, because value is the core principle that Genesis was founded on. The owner is a former diamond wholesaler who used to sell diamonds to upscale jewelry stores, but he hated how much they marked up the prices when they sold them to their customers. So he cut them out, and he started selling direct to the public at fair and honest prices that eliminated the traditionally fat retail profit margins. That direct importer advantage still applies at Genesis Diamonds. That's why they beat everyone else's prices on GIA diamonds. But is more important than just the price. At Genesis, you'll get a higher quality diamond with the best cut for maximum brilliance. No commission salespeople, a personal, relaxed shopping experience. Free service for life on any purchase. You'll also get the best rings money can buy from the top designers in America. These are handcrafted, American-made rings from the most sought-after designers. Names like Sakori and Viraggio and many more. So this year, as you think about getting engaged or celebrating a milestone of any kind, remember Genesis Diamonds. Best selection, highest quality, guaranteed best value, and a locally owned company with amazing international connections. Genesis Diamonds, located in Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Simone, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors, right here at 104.5 The Zone. Alongside Abode Foster and Kayla Anderson, I'm Will Bowling. Buck Reising, we hope to have coming up in just a moment.
He didn't go to bed. I just saw a picture of him out at the bar. Yep, I spotted
thinking
it.
he might have just not slept.
Oh, Bucko.
I mean, he never sleeps, to be fair.
He does a different race at the combine to the bar is
No,
where
like
he's at.
He lives the
Right?
same hours. He just lives those hours at Kilroy's instead of at his house.
His race involves a crawl, like a pub crawl.
Like
There
a
we
pub
go.
crawl. There
The
we
crawl
go.
is for all. That's again a show reference none of you are going to get. 615-737-1045 is the number this morning.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
from New Girl.
New girl.
See, that's one of the shows
That's a.
that
That's
have you
a show.
watched?
One of the shows that I quote just all
I
the
never
time.
even knew that was a show.
Now, it is with Zoe Deschanel. Is
Yes.
that correct? See,
Yes.
I got some points there.
Really?
Which
I
at one
have
point-
no idea who she is.
Schaefer said like it was either him or me. He was like, I feel like you would end up with like a Zoe Deschanel
Right.
character. Yeah, that's what he said about me.
I can see
Let me
that.
see who she looked like. Let's
It's
say.
the girl from Elf
You s-
Yep.
you-
who sings the song.
You
at
would
the
end
end
up
of
with
the
a
show.
43-year-old?
Well, that's
All right,
that
first of all,
element
Ramon,
it. No.
ageism. Can we have a drop for that, please?
That was
Ageism,
racist.
please. Thanks. We're not talking about her age. We're talking about the type of girl she is.
See,
You go straight to age. I see how it is.
No, I was
Okay.
just I
Yep.
pulled up her.
I get it.
pulled up her wiki. Hey, she's a January baby like me. I get her. Don't do me like that. That's
Ageist.
crazy. That's crazy, Kayla. I'd never judge a book by its age. I just put it
You
in the
just
antique
did.
section.
That's the first thing you said. Oh, she's 43.
You wouldn't judge her. You would just judge her for
She's
me.
43.
I'm judging her
All
for
right.
Will.
All
There
right,
we
hold
go.
Hold on. Zoe Deschanel's 43, right?
Yeah, and she looks dang good.
Will's 25.
Yeah.
Do the math.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Robbing the cradle out here.
Well,
If you like someone, you like someone.
to be fair, mentally sometimes I am about 45 to 50. So honestly,
As
I mean,
long as you're
that's-
18 and over.
I mean, think about the Michael Scott dating Pam's mom. Come on.
Oh, gosh. There's a reference you
on.
guys can come together
Can we go
on.
skiing?
Think about your activities.
I don't want to go skiing.
Think about the
anymore.
kids, Will.
Do you want to go skiing? No, just want to have the option to.
That cuts your activities in
man.
half.
But let me
Will.
switch that around. If it was if
Wild.
we were talking about a guy
Yeah.
and dating a girl that young, there would not have been this conversation.
I'd still
Boom.
play that game. I
Well,
do.
you know,
I'd
do
still
it
play
now.
that game.
Boom.
No, you talking
Yeah.
to the wrong one on that one. I still
Yep.
play that
Yep.
game.
Most
you-
people, though,
Yeah,
that would
gotta-
be
no,
the thing.
I'm not most people
Okay,
when it
so-
comes to that one.
Half of 43 is 21 and a half plus 7.
I mean, that's
Zoe Deschanel
it's
could date someone that's 28 and a half.
yeah.
What does that
I mean,
mean?
it
The
lines
rule is
up.
you cut it in half, then add 7.
Cut it in half.
No, it's
I've
the
never heard
10-year
of that.
rule.
It's 10-year rule.
You
What's
essentially,
the 10-year rule?
Schaefer and I have discussed this. You end up being around the same number.
Yeah, but my
typically.
rule's better.
There is no rules as
The
long
world
as you're
trade.
18
What?
and above, and it's legal.
Okay, let's say
Yeah, ask that Catherine
that's law.
McPhee girl who married that guy who's
That's Leonardo
I-
DiCaprio.
old enough to be her granddad.
Well, that guy's like 70.
That's-
Okay, that's different.
No, it's not. No.
Okay.
No, if we go based
different.
upon what you just
And he
said.
looks
Yeah.
70.
that-
That's the
no,
other thing.
No, you went against the
He
very
looks
rule you
70.
just
No,
established. See? We have found a fly in the ointment here.
There it is.
Oh, I don't see.
Dave.
I'm not seeing the fly.
Get it there. Get it
It's
there.
not gonna fly.
So all I'm saying is, you said, okay, so what about the 70-year-old male?
Uh-huh.
Now let's go 83. I've seen this in the papers before. 83 with
in
like
the
a
papers?
25-year-old.
What papers are you reading?
This is back in the day when what's her name? God, leash. I'll tell you in a
Paper.
minute. What about 83 with the 28?
What?
What?
83-year-old marrying
So
a 28.
basically, you're going like Anna
Okay,
Nicole
that's
Smith.
like-
Nicole
back.
Smith.
That's
Anna
way.
Nicole
Smith.
But that's
And
like way.
were we okay with
age
that
gap.
then?
No, the way you
That was just weird.
The
Were
way
we
you
okay with
established
that?
the rule, it was okay.
Oh, no, we going to standard this thing
No,
up.
it's
Let's
weird.
figure out
I don't
where's the
do what
line.
you want to do, but it's weird. That's what I
like-
just said. I said do what you want to do. It's weird though. I can
Is it
think,
more weird for
I
her
think
or
that's
him?
weird.
This is one of our worst rabbit
More
holes
weird
we've
for
ever
her.
gone
It's
down.
more weird
Yeah,
for her. Okay.
because he looks like he's
about to
about
pass
to
in her will.
going to the tales of the crypt.
This is
Get
like
your straight. Yeah.
this is like Jack Black
That's right.
Jack Black in The
That's
Office in the
what
it is.
movie that Andy, Jim, and Pam watch. Jack Black dating his ex-girlfriend's grandmother.
I mean, does your dog Zeus discriminate when,
Animals
Zeus-
don't have the mental capacity that
shush your
humans
mouth.
do. No,
I'm talking about
absolutely
Zeus
not.
right now.
Dog years is not a good comparison to make
My
in this
dog
argument.
got fixed. He ain't got no worry about
Okay.
that.
Oh, so he can't love? Wow.
Anyway,
This is
Buck
the owner.
Reising won't be joining
Zeus,
us clearly
I'm so
this morning.
sorry.
So let's go to a topic
So
that's
sorry.
not this
Oh.
to begin the show.
Zeus, call me.
He will
As soon
not
as Buck
call.
wakes up after his, as soon as Buck just decides that he's
still
after
not on the
sleeping.
line.
Oh, no,
No,
well,
this is
if
what
he
I-
was on the line, we would
All
be
right.
talking to him right
This
now.
is what I think
boy.
happened.
What happened?
Oh, no.
I texted him yesterday.
Oh.
Ramon will understand this completely, considering he does quite a bit of booking on the show too. Mm-hmm. I said to Buck, I was like, "Hey, can you do, later in the morning tomorrow?" No, I've got to do. Okay, fine. I don't care. And he said, I have to be done by 7:30. And I went, okay. When he said 7:30, I'm going, is he thinking Central or Eastern? So I texted him back and said 7:15 to 7:30 ET. What does that mean, Ramon?
Eastern time zone, baby.
Extraterrestrial.
Well, who knows what it means for Buck?
That's true too. Extra time.
do
Yeah.
radio show.
That's cold blooded. Hey, Buck, man, you know I love you, but you're dead to us now. You missed our show, and we're a prompt type of group.
And see, I texted Coach Mack to make sure we're good for this morning.
Of course.
He immediately
Yeah,
responds.
text you back. But why are
Probably
we
with a
thinking
bit
that this
emoji.
was going to be okay when Will and I literally had to do Buck's radio show because he had not walked in the room yet?
That's
Well,
fair.
that happens.
That's fair.
Doesn't happen.
Creatures of habit.
Here's the better content is him actually being scheduled to do the show and then not doing it. And then I'm sure he'll blame me later for getting it right where he got it wrong.
Better for us, honestly.
That's what I'm saying.
Spin zone. I'm a politician spin zone in here in 6:26 in the morning. So anyway, NFL.com ranked the 9 teams most likely to add Jalen Ramsey.
Season of lists.
The lists are back, baby.
Oh, wow.
Jalen Ramsey,
Jalen Ramsey,
the boy from
boy.
back home.
the boy from Brentwood.
There we go, man. You into this? You want to play
That's
this
Will's
game?
guy.
Well, I'm going to give you 9 teams that NFL.com ranked in order of where he could go.
Which ones matter?
I'm going to go ahead and tell you the Tennessee Titans are not on the list.
They're
No,
not.
no surprise.
ain't
Come
never saw
on.
that. I
Take the
know.
surprise out your voice.
How about? Oh, so this is super funny too. When you saying that right
surprise out
there,
your voice.
I'm taking this phrase home. Will, by the way,
Good.
you introduced this
I'm
to
glad.
me. So
I'm
RJ
glad.
goes to like orientation yesterday, right?
Oh.
And he got recommended for all the highest classes.
Oh.
Wow.
And I was just proud parent moment
Yeah.
right here. Screw the sports, okay?
Sure.
Screw those.
Get that
all right?
education.
Edumacation, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So he gets recommended for all AP courses. Like, yo, don't even bother with those other classes. I'm like, yeah, we're doing something right as parents. And so my wife's telling her mom last night, they have a FaceTime and stuff like that. She was like, guess what RJ did? And she's telling her mom on FaceTime and stuff. RJ simply looks at her and says, Mom, take the surprise out your voice.
RJ's been listening.
So if you don't get the reference,
That's
basically
pretty good.
What happened was it was Shaquille O'Neal and Charles
great.
Barkley, and they were on the set with Candace Parker during, I believe this was either NBA playoffs or NCAA tournament coverage on TNT and TBS. It was about 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And Candace Parker was introduced by Ernie Johnson as and former WNBA Defensive Player of the Year, Candace Parker. And I think it was either Shaq or Chuck.
It was Shaq.
It was Shaq.
Goes, oh, you a Defensive Player of the Year? You Defensive Player of the Year, really, Candace? And she goes,
Take the surprise
hey,
out your
Shaq,
voice.
take the surprise out your voice.
Yeah.
Take the surprise out your voice.
I would have opened
she's
my
the
palm
goat.
of my hand here, and I would have slapped the out of him.
That's exactly what it was Defensive Player of the Year. Take the surprise out your voice,
Good for
Shaq.
Candace
It
for
was
keeping
good.
I
calm.
love her
Caleb would
so
have said,
much.
what a 5 finger say to the face.
Yeah. Yeah.
The term
That was
GOAT is
good.
overused. It is not used enough when talking about Candace Parker.
It's
She's-
not.
Because off the
She's
court,
legit.
she just seems so cool, too.
CP is she's dope, man.
She's the
for
one.
Sure.
She's her.
She
She's
is.
her. The Detroit
Oh.
Lions, by the way,
One
the
of
number
the
one
landing
team.
spots.
Number one team.
I'm
Oh.
telling y'all.
Landing spot for Jalen
Look at
Ramsey.
Detroit starting to flex a little bit up there.
I don't know if that's a fit.
They've got a foundation.
I don't know, but
For their coach, Kayla,
they're starting to buy in.
Jalen Ramsey, and their coach.
I don't see Jalen going to Detroit.
You know
personally.
what?
Because you think he's a little bit of a diva then.
No, it's not a diva. It's
Just the city?
the lifestyle that he's lived in L.A. Going from L.A. to Detroit is
Little
a,
bit of a diva.
a large
Put him
adjustment.
back on
I'm
the
not
East
going to
Coast,
say
though.
diva.
You put him on back on
Little bit of a
Central
diva.
Time and stuff. Close to the family, maybe. I'm with you on the idea of it, but if they're a
All
competitive
about
team,
the money.
Yeah.
that too.
As long as you're getting paid.
But
Go ahead.
number 2 on the list has money and is a better fit for Jalen.
Who?
Okay.
The New York Football Giants. $47 million of cap space. Number 2 on this list. That makes a ton of sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You'd
New
have
York
a track
Giants.
team, by the way, at corner between him and Adoree Jackson. 2 of the best long jumpers in the NCAA in the last 10 years. Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd have
It's
a track
still
team
still
at
a
corner.
cold weather city. So
That's fine.
I don't know what Jalen is, in terms of his LA, because he's been out there, and then
yeah.
Jacksonville before that. I don't know if
I know.
do guys that later in their career kind of prefer colder or warmer weather?
I think
You
it's
know
probably
that?
just, I'm with Shafe, money and
You don't
can
care.
you win?
Okay. Even if
Money
you're
and-
in your later days.
Yeah, that's if Cleveland was really that good, they'd be a hot spot.
Number 3, this one's funny. There's no chance this happens. They have the Jacksonville Jaguars as the number 3
Yeah,
landing
no.
spot to bring Jalen back.
No, he's not going back there.
There's no
I'd
shot.
almost see that happening before I would Detroit.
The way it ended, though, with him
I don't
there,
know about that.
I don't think so.
Huh.
I
That
know
was
it's
a
a new
nasty
regime,
divorce.
but that was
Yeah.
not a great divorce.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Number 4, they have the Baltimore Ravens. That one makes a lot of sense.
Ooh, now that's the personality.
He's
there.
a dog, too.
There's
He-
that
it-
personality.
Yeah.
That burns me. I hate to see
Look
that.
at him. He's like, say it ain't
This
so.
because Baltimore does this. They go get like a very prime cornerback or safety, and I'm like, God, dog.
Yep.
I mean, Humphrey was that last time.
And
Yeah.
Peters, he was one.
Yep.
I'm like, golly.
Dang, Baltimore.
They always find a way. That's the
gotta be like
Baltimore
that?
way. That's
morning,
the
Baltimore.
Baltimore way, man.
Minnesota 5, that's not going to happen.
That's not happening. Nope.
Cincinnati 6. Now,
Okay.
whoop,
I
Do
can
they
see a
have the
little
money
bit
in
of that.
Cincy?
$35.5 million in cap space.
Oh, they're about to
So, yes.
lose Von Bell too.
Possibly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They got him on. He's on the line right now.
Raiders, Panthers, Cowboys, the other 3 teams on this list.
Raiders, Panthers, Cowboys.
Panthers, absolutely not.
No.
No.
Raiders.
Raiders, no.
No,
Cowboys, probably not. But maybe.
Of this list, Detroit. I said Jacksonville, Giants.
I think Ravens is the best fit.
Cowboys would be in the mix, but yeah, Cowboys could be in the mix. Cincy, it'll mess around and be Cincy and Baltimore.
You think?
Yeah, because they want to win now.
I agree.
They want to win
Yeah.
like right now. The Cowboys, I think, is almost
You
like
don't think the Giants are in that mix?
yeah. It depends on Danny Dimes though too.
Yeah, where does the dust settle after the 2 extensions they got to pay to Saquon
Yeah.
and Danny
Yeah.
Dimes?
Yeah.
Which they're going to tag Saquon.
I was,
think they're
yeah,
gonna
they're
tag
gonna
him?
tag him.
I think so.
I
I'd
think
let
so
him
too.
go, man.
You'd
I
let him
don't
go?
think
I
so.
let Saquon.
Really?
Saquon. I love how he says Saquon.
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 So
Saquon.
I guess you think they could draft a high running back?
Yeah.
Mm.
I think they could. I think they could.
Yeah.
He's that legit, but I'd much rather let him go, find another running back, and reset with Danny Dimes. Make it Danny Dimes' team. Y'all
So-
know how I
Okay.
like Daniel Jones
Sure.
though, too. So
Yeah.
So let me ask you this then. Where does a guy like Saquon Barkley end up?
where does he end up? If Dallas don't sign Pollard back there,
Okay.
Wouldn't that be
God, I
a
would
more
think you'd have to
expensive
do
deal
that.
than Pollard?
with Jerry Jones wanting to win right now, I can see that being the case for him. Saquon could end up going to some place. I mean, of course, everybody's been linked to Buffalo at this point.
Yeah.
Buffalo could be a landing spot for him, but he may be in a position if they don't tag him. He just got to go with the highest amount of bread that he's going to
Sure.
get, and that's the biggest thing that comes down to running backs in this league. Whenever you able to hit the free agency market, you can't necessarily say, "No, I want to go to a winner." No, you better go to a team that's going to give you the largest bag. Because we saw a guy like by the name of Adrian Peterson be able to try to find teams to play on to get to a ring.
Thing is, too, what about Cincinnati? In the
For
market
running
for
backs?
a big running back. Because
They
Joe
got
Mixon, well, they can save a lot of money, though, by getting rid of him.
Okay.
His cap hit's $12.7 million. The dead cap money is only $5.5 million for 2023 for Joe Mixon.
And he's had some issues.
On a post-June 1st trade, they would save $10 million. In a post-June 1st release, they would also save $10 million.
I look at them. I think they're being selfish with everything they got up there. Because you said our owner came out and said about T. Higgins, that's never going to happen. I think they're the mindset. We have our nucleus. We're going to run it back.
We can't get rid of anything.
This foundation we have, yeah.
But does a running back count in a nucleus? I don't
Joe
think it
Mixon
does.
does.
I don't think so.
You don't think Joe Mixon does?
When you're talking about
really
saving
either.
$10 million, I think they would rather keep the 1 and 2 wide receivers.
I do too.
At all costs.
Joe Mixon's about as important to that offense with Joe Burrow as almost anybody. The same thing could be said about Saquon. It really could.
I mean, there are a lot of guys. I think I would almost say Hayden Hurst is more influential to that offense as a whole. I mean, Pirine was almost just as good.
Couldn't
when Mixon
you replace
was hurt.
Joe even if you drafted a guy?
With running backs, you can do it any time, but I think Joe Mixon's so much of their DNA. Like, we can, if that happens, I'll sit back and be like, man, y'all are right on this one. I love y'all stance by saying, yeah, he can be replaced, but seeing how, teams are built around each other and how you
But we're saying
them,
Derek can go.
That's because are the Titans actually competing for a Super Bowl?
No.
That's the
But they're
separators
trying
for
to
me.
actually move forward in what they're trying to be in their identity.
But I don't think Cincinnati's in the same spot. I think you're running back with the players that kept you in the race more often than not than you do with, okay, we're trying to gain as much capital to compete higher than we ever have. That's the way I look at Derek. I'm not saying Derek's washed. I'm not saying Derek should go. I'm saying the idea that Derek is a trade value and to get more picks to reset yourself, and we're not going to say rebuild, then I think this is as valid of a year to do
But when
it.
do they have to pay Joe?
What do they have to pay Joe?
Yeah.
Let me pull it back up.
Because it's coming up, correct? Soon?
A couple years.
2 more years? Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, he's still.
I mean, they're really
they've got an option
riding
for 24.
the boat there.
They've got an option for 24 at a cap hit of $13.1 million.
Okay.
And that year it would be a dead cap of 2.7. So if Joe Mixon stays, he's only there for 1 more year.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is you could sign Saquon on another prove-it deal if you're a team like that.
Yeah.
And give him what? $15 million?
I mean, you could. That's a
cap
heavy
hit
check.
of around 10 to 12?
Yeah. Danny, who's a Cincy fan, said that he's not a part of DNA. I'm like,
he's not.
You don't think so?
Pirine was.
How about
Pirine was great in his absence this past season. There wasn't a big drop off. The drop off was when Jamar Chase wasn't there.
I love Joe Mixon that much more.
Well,
Maybe I got on orange and black tinted glasses
I'm
this morning for
surprised
Joe
you're that
Mixon.
in for. I didn't know you were that all about Joe.
Yeah, because
That's a good one.
all about Joe.
Are you
My
all about
respect
Joe?
factor, yeah. On this one,
The other
I
Joe?
am. On JM, Joe Mixon is simply because the way he was presented to us as a player, to what he does for that offense, both in the run and the passing game, and how he's been the steady entity when Joe Burrow's learning. I think he's a huge valuable part of Cincinnati's offense, period. I like P. Ryan too, but they're a bang-bang situation to me. The same way I looked at Pollard and Zeke, except for Zeke right now looks to be falling off. I didn't think Joe Mixon was at the fall-off point. Is what my point is. Y'all think he's
I don't
or
think
you think there's an upgrade?
I think he's on he's just on a plateau at this point. Like, he is who he is.
I think if there's a chance to just get somebody new in there, and I don't know about Saquon. I mean,
yeah.
Maybe. But Joe also has had some off the field issues that I feel like at one point something's going to happen. The guy is also somebody I don't know if I want to continue to keep on my squad. Whenever year it seems like we have something that's popped up about him.
Here's where this matters for the Titans.
Yes, sir. I'm with you.
Here's where this matters for the Titans.
What?
When you have a not generational quarterback, because those don't grow on trees, but
no, they don't.
When you have a quarterback like Joe Burrow, you're automatically linked to everyone at any given time. And that's the larger discussion to have about this team is that Ryan Tannehill's fine. Ryan Tannehill is not getting you linked to stars around the NFL who might be available because your window is open. The Cincinnati window is wide open. Kansas City window is going to be open for a long time.
Yeah.
Even though the money is about to get real steep for Mahomes, but it still looks like a pretty good contract. Buffalo window.
Yeah.
Open. Like I see one of these running backs is going to take a 1 or 2 year deal.
Yeah.
That makes sense to pair themselves with one of these quarterbacks, with one of these teams that we've just mentioned. That's where the Titans have to see themselves now long term is how do we position ourselves to be that team? Titans fans complain all the time about like, well, why are we never linked to guys like this?
Well, you order Julio.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Just a little far
You silly.
beyond his. Well, people were excited about that.
And for good reasons,
And
though,
Jadavion.
too. Yeah.
615-737-1045 is our number. And coming up next, we have more clarity on Buckgate. Not joining our show this morning.
There's clarity.
Jonathan Schaefer is the best producer in the world for a reason, and he's got receipts.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming up next on our Moan, Kayla, and Will, 1045 The Zone.
It's Ramon and Kayla for Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. They are the heating and cooling company that can take care of all your HVAC needs. It's getting hot early this year, if you can't tell. And if you haven't already booked your spring tune-up for your AC unit, now is the time. Through the month of March, get your AC tuned up for just $79 and get the fall tune-up for free. And did you just turn on that AC unit and realize quickly it wasn't working like it should? Don't wait until the peak of summer to get it repaired. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling offers free service calls with their repairs, plus low monthly payments on those repairs too, Kayla.
Yeah, and that's the thing. In Nashville, there's really not like a good amount of time before the weather switches. So before we know it, it's going to be hot and humid. You're going to want your AC working smoothly. And that's why we trust the family-owned business of Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. They have been in business for over 20 years. Like I mentioned, it's all about family. We've met with them. We talk with them all the time. They've got our backs. They've got your backs. And you ask, what's so cool about their customer service? They do not hide behind that company reputation. It's the family reputation that they put it all on the line every single day. The Spring Hill Heating and Cooling family, they respond promptly to any of the issues, no matter what time of the year. And they get those problems resolved quickly and, more importantly, accurately.
Also, if you need a unit too, they have you covered. Get it done now and get 18 months of no payments. You heard it right from us. If you buy a new unit today, you won't have to pay for it until August of 2024. That's 2 Nashville summers of having your home perfectly cool. Seems like a no-brainer. Again, reach out to Spring Hill Heating and Cooling at springhillac.com.
Check them out.
Kayla Anderson, she's proud to be participating in the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's Visionaries of the Year campaign to help fight against blood cancer. Please consider supporting this organization by making a contribution to her campaign at 1045thezone.com/Team Kayla. All donations greatly appreciated and tax deductible. That's 1045thezone.com/Team Kayla.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have the receipts. Here this morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors on 1045 The Zone. Jonathan Schaefer has posted a screenshot at Ramon, Kayla, Will is where you can follow the show on Twitter. The exact text from the best producer in the world reads, 7:15 to 7:30 ET work, just as Schaefer told us.
Yep.
And Buck responded with his customary, yes'm, YES''M, which I don't know why he does that anyway. So, we had the time zone right.
There it is.
Buck was supposed to join us. He did not. We move on.
Shame.
Shame.
Time to not spend any more time.
Thank you, Aaron Rodgers.
That's right.
Moving on.
Hey, man.
I want to set the over-under now. Maybe we could get Lucas to hop on like right before they go on while Buck is doing other things at the Combine again. And
I think I'll try to make that arrangement.
There we go.
Perfect.
Perfect.
I was gonna set an over-under with Lucas of what time did Buck get home from Kilroy's last night in Indianapolis. I'm going to set the over-under at 2:33 a.m.
Yeah.
2:33
What time did he
a.m.
go to bed? Now that's another story.
Ditched us. Maybe I should look at when was the last time he was logged on Instagram.
Ooh,
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
There we
Buck
go.
doesn't
one.
sleep. Like, even when he's here, Buck will like be tweeting about Indiana basketball's latest loss at like 11:30 p.m. or midnight, and then he'll be tweeting about like some Ryan Tannehill thing, like a story at like 4:30, and he's awake. Like he's not scheduling these tweets.
Oh, well,
He's told me before. He's like,
Scheduling
"Well, I don't
these-
really sleep." I
if
was
our,
like,
hilarious.
if our show started at like 10, my nights would be a little later too.
A
Wouldn't
little
yours?
later.
Yeah,
But he still gets up and
absolutely.
works out,
well,
he
he
said.
gets up before us though.
No.
He gets up at like 4:30.
Not before me.
Oh, that's true.
I get up at 4, so I beat all y'all.
Oh,
Maybe not Shave.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not a competition, but yeah, I'm 3:45 every
I
morning.
gotta tell you what time I got up today. Then.
Tell us.
because I'm going to come slap
Now I
you.
want to know.
5.
I was out of bed at 5:30.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't talk to me.
I told you I wasn't gonna tell you.
Oh, you know what? You know what?
What?
You two got to do the show.
Do it, Shave.
No, go ahead, guys.
So, Kayla?
What's up,
Have you ever
Ramon?
missed a radio appointment? I'll be honest. I did before, though.
For somebody's actual hit?
Yeah, it was actually for Mike Golick Jr. Don't
Okay.
cut Will on, please. It was for Mike Golick Jr. as he sips his Celsius
His
this morning.
grape.
I was like dog tired, and I knew like I had to get up for it. Like I legitimately like slept through the interview. I was like, I'm gonna just lay down for a second, and you know I never take naps.
Oh.
And so for me to lay down for a second and sleep through like his phone call, I woke up, I apologized like 40, 50 times. Like, oh my God, my bad, Mike. You ever done that?
I've had
Don't
an
talk to us, Will.
emergency.
You've
Like
had,
I've had
Real
like
life
an
background.
emergency where something has happened, and I
Yeah.
literally had, and I even made sure though to call as soon as I could, and text and say I'm so sorry, I'm not gonna be able to make it.
It does suck though, doesn't it? Will's really waving his finger trying to get on this conversation, Kayla.
No,
I
I
got
just-
nothing
I
to
just
go
gave you
for
one little-
whatsoever. No, absolutely not, Kayla.
I missed one,
Ramon's
too,
choosing
in
violence this
college.
morning too.
Yeah, 100%, man. So
As always.
That's always nothing changes here, man. By the way, I went and looked at Joe Mixon's stats.
Oh boy,
too.
here we go. He has a love affair with Joe Mixon.
I've
You
also
know, I had a
overslept
teammate yesterday called
for a
me
radio
cynical.
show too.
I was like, dang.
Oh.
Whoa, you cynical?
Oh. Okay, and who is that?
Vince Williams.
Huh.
Vinny, my old teammate. He was like, you know, Ramon's cynical. I was like, whoa.
That's
Hey.
the
Vinny.
ball in you.
Did you ask Vinny what cynical meant?
Yeah, I
Did
did.
he know what cynical
He
means?
knew exactly. Vinny's a very
I was
smart
gonna
guy.
say
I
Vinny
know,
probably wouldn't say
but
it.
I just
unless
wanted
he
to
meant
make
it.
sure.
And I was just like, yeah, I can kind of
I
see
know.
that. But he said, like, the thing, he was describing me. I was like, wait a minute, I'm interviewed. Don't undress me here, man. He was just like, the thing is, with Mon, he's cynical. He's like, but if you convince him, then you got like 2/3 of the entire locker room with you.
Sure.
And you want Mon's word. I was like, is that how y'all viewed me? I was
Well,
like,
they
is
just said
that
it.
bad right there?
That's the Vol in you. The
Not
cynical
bad.
Who's
part.
back? That's the
Not
ball
bad.
in me.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Yeah,
Oh,
hey,
look who's
look,
back.
Hi, how are you?
Rest it, Kayla.
It's Will Bullard.
Starting at guard. Thank you.
Yeah.
Overslept for a radio show one time. I had like 4 calls from the station. I was in college. I was supposed to do a UT baseball segment and didn't happen, and I was asleep.
For real.
Anyway, I think I had a 6 a.m. practice that morning or something.
I've never missed like a workout or nothing. Like I have anxiety.
I've never missed a workout.
You miss meetings? Like I know guys have like
You miss meetings.
missed meetings.
I was almost late to the bus for my first ever cross country meet in college. A second ever cross country meet in college.
Were you like sprinting, like with the bus?
My roommate and I both were.
How'd you end up being late?
Because we weren't good. Like, they would have left us.
They're like, yeah, cool. We can go find someone off the streets.
Stop playing, man.
Brown 5:30 overslept that morning. No, my roommate Brad and I at the time literally like sprinted in all of our gear to the bus, and it almost did not go well for us.
I was gonna say, do you have any energy for the race?
Well, the race was the next day.
Oh, okay.
I've seen guys get left, like have to catch.
I almost did.
Yeah.
We were on the bus to Louisville.
Yeah.
You could have
Not
drove.
Louisville, Louisville.
Louisville.
It's Louisville.
I didn't have my car at that point.
Oh man.
I didn't have my car until like the end of the first semester of freshman year because my parents like, no, you need to just like walk around and stay on campus.
I felt bad for
like,
my
okay.
guy, Cam Sutton. He was a young guy.
Yeah.
And he ended up getting caught in traffic on the way to the plane.
no.
And it was like him and like 3-4 other young guys that missed the team plane. They had to fly commercial.
And that is something they probably did not want to do.
By the way, your boy Cam's about to get broke off.
He about to get broke off. He is.
Really?
Good for the Vol, man. Yeah, he had a really good year. They say probably about 12, maybe.
The Steelers don't pay him.
Okay.
Somebody's going
Yeah.
to.
That's right.
For a guy that plays slot like that, yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, Cam Sutton in a couple of weeks is going to get paid.
Go Vols.
One more thing.
Okay,
You could miss your flight or miss your ride, or you could be like Lane Kiffin and just be intentionally dropped off and said, you will not be getting on this plane.
Man,
Can't relate.
Can't relate.
Let's hope we're never in that boat.
615-737-1045. Buck might be in that boat after he's ghosted us this morning. But
Buck
Coach
just
Dave
liked
McGinnis,
my tweet.
He did.
Lovely.
That's
Coach Dave
probably
McGinnis would never do such a thing.
Oh, it is.
We have an update on the Buck situation that we'll discuss
breaking news.
after the break.
Stay tuned for Jonathan Schaefer's urgent
Juicy.
news bulletin from the desk of the 1045 The Zone Studios. Coach Mack at 7:20, and what the Baltimore Ravens general manager had to say about coveting quarterbacks. Now, let's put your money where your mouth is, Mr. DaCosta. Coming up next on our Bone, Kalen and Will, 1045 The Zone. Lane needs Inky.
7:02. Good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com Sports Desk. One of the top prospects in next month's NFL Draft, former Georgia defensive tackle Jalen Carter, has been charged with reckless driving and racing in connection with a crash that killed a teammate and a recruiting staff member. An arrest warrant alleges Carter was racing his vehicle against the vehicle of the recruiting staffer, which led to the January 15th wreck. According to reports, Carter was present at the scene of the crash and later provided changing accounts of the wreck to police. The initial police report was that it was a single vehicle accident. College basketball yesterday, Vanderbilt upset number 23 Kentucky 68-66 in Lexington. It is Vandy's first win at Rupp Arena since January 2007. Jordan Wright hit the game-winning shot with under 3 seconds remaining. He finished with 23 points. To the association, Grizz 113, Houston 99, Desmond Bain 30 points for Memphis, a game high. The Nashville Predators traded forward Mikhail Granlund to the Pittsburgh Penguins for a 2023 second-round pick. The Preds now have 13 picks in the upcoming draft. They will play at Florida to take on the Panthers' 6 o'clock face-off tonight. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
And it's hour number 2 on the Thursday morning edition of Ramon, Kayla, and Will. It's always powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors with our 11-year NFL veteran, Ramon Foster.
Hey.
Our capitalized J journalist, Kayla Anderson, and the best producer in the world, Jonathan Schaefer, making the show happen.
The best producer in the world!
My name is Will Bowling. Coach Dave McGinnis coming up in 15 minutes as we go back to Indianapolis to discuss the biggest storylines and the biggest prospects who could help themselves starting today as live NFL Network coverage will begin for the NFL Combine. Drills will take place. The Underwear Olympics will take
Let's
another
go.
step.
Man.
Looking forward
Chris
to that.
Jones.
We have an update on the Buck Reising situation.
Oh,
Will.
look who has appeared on the
Bucko.
Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline this morning. Live from Kilroy's, Buck Reising joining us today. Buck, over under 1 a.m. when your last Kilroy's breadstick was consumed last night.
Oh, I didn't have a single breadstick last night, but it was definitely beyond the 1 a.m. type of situation. Thank you for being on.
How about a
Always.
single Jack Daniels shot?
I don't drink whiskey either. You guys don't know me at
Golly.
all.
Oh, he's a tequila guy. Buck's a
Oh, okay,
tequila
I
guy.
am too. So we,
I'd
we get
like,
along on
I'd
that
like my
page.
formal apology right now, please. Please. Formal
what?
apology for him. Come on.
Formal apology.
Come on. No, I still haven't heard the word sorry yet. Let's go.
You are precious. Let me tell you.
Notice he still
that
hasn't
is
said the word sorry.
He hasn't.
It is my great honor and privilege to be here on this very, very quality morning show.
Listen to this jerk. Come on.
You will not hear the words. I can't even say it. I won't come out of my mouth. I physically can't. It makes me almost want to vomit.
Look,
so, you know
sorry
what?
or apology, one of the two, Buck.
I state my regret.
I'll think about it. Talk to me again.
I guess we'll think about doing the rest of this interview then. No, Buck is literally Dwight Schrute when he has to say, I state my regret in front of Dunder Mifflin in order to move on and have his job back. But
Buck, is this the spot you did bottle service at?
No. So Bloomington is where Indiana University is, and
Well,
I was
I
at Kilroy's
knew
for
that.
a hot second. But this Kilroy's in Indy is a very, very. It's a mutated version. This is a variant that I was at last night. This is
A
the real
variant.
Oh, my God.
look at Buck stepping into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I love it. Buck, you talked to Mike Vrabel and Ran Carthon. How was that?
No, swell. I mean, Mike Vrabel confirmed that Lucas Pansic is my personal assistant.
Yeah, we talked about that.
We gotta talk about this because Lucas, like I think it might be closer to you work for Lucas than Lucas works for you. Can you confirm nor deny this?
I can confirm at this point that Lucas Panziga does in fact work for me, but I will say that somebody should probably do a wellness check on both of the people who are supposed to be up here working with me. Because I bet you that I'm easier to get a hold of this morning than the other two, but that's fine.
Well, considering we couldn't get a hold of you, I'll take a bet on that one.
Yeah, but here I am, and they're not here. It's okay. Everything is fine.
Look at them flexing.
Again, still no sorry or apology. Still.
Not happening. I would say that, so I very much enjoyed the conversations that we had with Mike Vrabel, Rand Carthon, and we did get to talk to Tim Kelly, the offensive coordinator, obviously, the new Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator. And, I think the biggest thing that everybody, I guess, kind of ran with was the Tannehill quote from Rand's press conference about, that he will be a Titan. And I think that was largely taken out of context just because it's an easy quote to kind of clip and run with. They're not going to negotiate publicly. That's been a policy for as long as I've covered this team. Kayla, you probably speak to that as well.
Yeah.
And with a lot of decisions on the table, and certainly with the biggest one revolving around their quarterback, they are keeping as much close to the vest as humanly possible. At this point, there's standard answers there about, we're open for business on the 11th overall pick. Sure, we're open to trading up. Sure, we're open to trading back. Blah 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 blah. But for the purposes of this team, I think it's clear and obvious. We all know what they need to do at this point. It's just a matter of how they go about doing it, and they're just not going to tell us that right now.
How do you think this team's going to operate, Buck? Considering it's the combine and looking at prospects, will they be active in free agency, or is this a build through the draft type of year? Which feeling are you getting from Rand or Vrabel at this point?
Well, they've only got 6 draft picks, right? Julio is still killing them from beyond the grave, as is Robert Woods, by the way. That's not lost on me at all, as they released him a couple of weeks ago. But this is a situation where they have to build as much as humanly possible through the draft, because while they do have technically about $12 million in actual cap space, they really only have 8 in effective cap space because of the free agency situation that they will have to deal with in season, because inevitably players will get hurt because of the situation that you'll have to pay practice squad players in the draft class that's coming up. You really only have about $8 million right now. So there's a lot more moves that need to come. And the best thing for them at this point is to build organically, because they really just don't have the finances right now to make an impact in free agency. Now they can, but likely that would require a substantial release. And I know we've talked about the 2 names who are, most constitute the biggest financial relief that they have right now contract-wise between Bud Dupree and Ryan Tannehill. I think it's notable that certainly Bud is still on the roster right now, and I know for a fact that they've been trying to find a way to bring that number down and keep him on the roster. But, there comes a breaking point where they need the money. So if they can't get a situation figured out with Bud, that's going to have to be a release too.
So you talked about, obviously fixing this team organically, and that means through the draft. And so when you look at this year's draft, I think we're all kind of on the same page, at least many people that I've talked to, with drafting somebody in terms of an O-lineman to get that project started. Buck, and I know you guys will see them later in the week, when you look at the O-lineman available this year in the draft, who's sticking out to you? Who's that guy if the Titans can get him?
I would tell you, in fact, I was having a conversation. See, this is what I was doing for you guys. I was out very, very late doing a lot of recon. So Schaefer, I will take a thank you whenever you get the chance.
I didn't know you could find combine information at the bottom of a bottle.
Oh,
buddy, that's the only place you find combine information. You've been up here.
You don't find it at Scrums, I guess.
Network.
We were having conversations about this very, very late into the evening, and the 2 names that people know at the tackle position are Peter Skoronski, the Northwestern kid, and then Paris Johnson Jr. from Ohio State. Mm-hmm. And the biggest difference there, and Ramon could probably speak to this better than I can, just based on his understanding of the offensive line from a technical standpoint. The tape is there for Skoronski, but Paris Johnson Jr. is going to test better at a situation like this. Skoronski doesn't have the length. That is something that is obviously a concern. He is looked at by a lot of people as a guard because of the arm length situation, and understanding that he's going to have to be blocking these borderline pterodactyl types coming off the edge at him, where you're dealing with Myles Garrett and just unbelievable. Myles Garrett, by the way, this year on the schedule with unbelievable length and the ability to just wreak havoc under normal circumstances, much less if you're not physically equipped for the job. A rookie tackle is going to struggle either way, but the tape is there for Skoronski. The testing I expect to be there for Paris Johnson Jr. I don't quite see it with the latter as far as the tape is concerned, but I can't. I'm not a scout. I just see. I can look at what's available to me. But even talking to people who do the talent evaluations, that's basically been the consensus that I've gotten back. Skoronski is there from an on-field performance standpoint. Paris Johnson Jr. is the better projection.
Well, on-field performance late but still solid from Buck Reising this morning, who you can hear live from 10 to 1 from Indianapolis at the NFL Combine. Buck, can you tell the people what you have for them today at 10 o'clock?
Yeah. We will be live at the Combine, obviously, again, and we will have Danny Kelly of The Ringer, who puts together their big old draft guide, which is very, very informative and well done. Probably Diana Rossini at some point of ESPN, and we'll talk about everything that's going on from an NFL free agency standpoint, because that's an outright disaster at this point. Combine with everything that's going on and everybody, the names on everybody's lips: Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr, and things like that. And, we'll see who stops by the table, because yesterday we were only supposed to have 2 people and we ended up with 5, because that's how this thing goes.
Lovely. We'll go place a 6-pack of Pepsi outside Kirby's door in the hallway and lure him out into the wild again.
There we go.
Have a good show.
I don't think I want to see him yet. I don't think I want to see him yet. I need at least.
You spent a lot of time with him.
I have to run over there and talk to kickers here in about.
Oh, have fun with that.
Kickers.
Go find one for the Titans.
To do the yeah, well,
right?
Caleb Shudak is my only saving grace that makes me want to not care about going to see kickers talk today. But
you never know with the kicker situation in the past with this team.
I don't want to talk about that.
I know.
Enjoy, Buck. Thank you.
Special teams, it's special.
See you, Buck.
Lovely to speak with
Buck.
you all.
All right. There's Buck Reising with us, who will not state his regret, but will give us a couple of minutes.
Yeah, it was good, man.
Here on the show.
So why did he miss it? The slot.
So, probably time, because he got up at 8.
Do you really want to know why?
Yeah.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
Now that he's gone.
You want to know when he went to bed?
What-
Not 1.
Well,
Not
I set
2.
the over-under at 233.
I said about
Not 2.
Hammer the over.
I said about 4.
Not 3.
Oh, no.
Oh my God.
Not 4.
Oh, no.
Wait, what? Wait, are you kidding?
Nah, I believe it.
So he went to bed
100%.
at 5 a.m.
Well,
Can neither confirm nor deny.
okay. Interesting. Well,
I didn't think Indy was that popping for them to keep people up that
Me
late.
either. We're not.
who does Coach Mack know in Indianapolis?
Everybody.
Everybody. And he'll be on time coming up next. Coach Tate McGinnis, Titans Radio's head coach on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 104.5 The Zone.
Yes!
7:20 on a Thursday, and that means this music and this man from Indianapolis, Coach Dave McGinnis, joining us on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors. And as always, his appearance here and elsewhere, presented by our friends at Farm Bureau Health Plans. Look to the folks at Farm Bureau Health Plans when you need someone who knows the health coverage game plan. They've been protecting Tennesseans now for 76 years. Coach Matt, good morning. How are you?
Morning, Matt.
Well, I'm doing good. Hey, guys, I'm doing good. I know you guys have been hard at it for a couple of hours or an hour and a half already. So have I. I was doing a walk-in interview when Shafe called, and so we're at the Combine. Let's go.
So we answered the rhetorical question a couple minutes ago of who does Coach Mack know at the Combine, which is everyone. We also had on the first hour of our show this morning, Coach Mack, Buck was supposed to join us at 6:20 and was not awake at the time that he called us.
Let me tell you what that is. That is a clear indication of a rookie mistake.
Yes.
Tell it, Matt.
So let me tell you something. If you cannot answer the bell, then that's an issue.
Perfect.
Coach Mack, this is what you call those young prospects that's at the Combine right there. Rookie. That's all it is, Coach Mack. Rookie mistake that he's made this morning.
Well, no. Let me just say this. Here's what I used to do, and every head coach from Ditka on down that I was with, and then when I was a head coach, meeting starts at this time, and then the door's locked. So if you're not there on time, stand outside until everybody's meeting's over, and then I'll deal with your late ass later.
Yeah,
I love it.
And on time to me is like, at least be 5 minutes early, right?
Well, that's why you're a successful professional.
See?
That's right.
Thanks, Coach.
Mac know how to pick them, Coach Mac. That's all it is, man.
Coach Mack with us, as always, presented by Farm Bureau Health Plans this morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. So, Coach Mack, I want to start before we get into some of these prospects who are particularly interesting to the Titans at the Combine. I want to just start with the process of the Combine compared to the Senior Bowl. And I know we talked about half of this conversation in Mobile with you. Now, on the flip side of this, how do these meetings differ from bowl games, Senior Bowl, East-West Shrine Bowl, and games like that have taken place earlier on in the offseason when you're sitting down with organizations at the Combine?
All right, let's talk about two separate meetings. First of all, if you've already met with a player that was one of the 120 that were at the Senior Bowl, and you choose to meet with them here also, you've only got a certain number that you can meet with here. So you've got to be very judicious about how you schedule the people you have, because it all goes into the Combine. They redistribute the times, give a placard to the players, the lanyard around their neck, and those times are set in hard stone. So you have to be very judicious about the people you want to double interview. And then you've also got to look forward to the ones that you want to bring in for your 30 visit, okay? So before you ever sit down and start scheduling visits, you have to decide on a long term. Now, if you've already seen them and talked to them at the Senior Bowl and you feel like you've got some nice info and you'd like to follow up on a 30 visit and save their spot for somebody else here. So all of that goes into it. Now here, you've got a scheduled time with them. You've got about 18 minutes with them here when you meet them, and then when you meet them in what we used to call the train station, it's now in the concourse in Lucas Oil now, where they have the general unscheduled meetings. You sit with your position coaches at those. So there are different meetings that we are talking about. Your scheduled meeting that you have at night, and they start at 7 and run till 11 in 20-minute increments. But the meetings that you have I'm still calling it the train station. It's not the train station anymore, but it's in the concourse. Those you can go. It's still timed, but each team has a table, but that's a little bit longer, type of a meeting. And so you've got to decide, who you want to sit down with. Your position coaches here that are here see more people than is available, for your other scheduled meetings to see, and because that's why both processes are set up here for that. Now, if you've already had a scheduled meeting, well, if I've already talked to you, well, at the Senior Bowl, and there's some other follow-ups I wanted after the Senior Bowl, those questions would be different than if I were just sitting down with you face-to-face for the first time. Kayla, on the other hand, didn't go to the Senior Bowl, but is somebody we really want to talk to, and so our meetings would be different than that, pointed as far as the questions. Ramon has been to the Senior Bowl. We know we want to bring him in for a 30 visit, and so we may just give a brush by. We may give him a run by here, but saying, we'll see you when you come to our campus later on, probably starting on Tuesday of next week when those meetings start. So what I'm saying is they're all different setups depending on where you are with the prospect.
Coach Mack, at this is get medicals. I think is probably the most important about the combine because you have everybody there and all the doctors. But the two drills everybody talk about is probably the 40, Coach Mack, and the bench press. But I'd almost beg to differ that you get a true test of what the athlete is by the 3-cone and probably vertical. Where are you at on those drills right there about really breaking it down, or his 10-yard split in his 40?
All of that is right. 3-cone, vertical, standing broad jump too.
Oh yeah.
Same thing. His lower body from stop to start explosion. Look, the bench press to me is just something that that started a long time ago before anybody ever knew how to gauge strength. The bench press, most of the time the guys that win the bench press, they're strong guys, but they're a lot of times they're short arm guys because the push is a lot different. So you take that if you've been doing this for a long time with a little bit of grain of salt. What the bench press really shows you if they've been training. Okay, for that, the 40 is just a numerical evaluation that has years and years of data behind it. How much 40 yards for an offensive lineman or defensive lineman means exactly 0. The 10-yard split that you bring up. Look, the National Football League game is played in short, quick, violent bursts. Right. Okay. If you're running 40 yards, something really good has happened in a game, or something really bad has happened in a game. Okay, so if you're running 40 yards and you're the guy carrying it and you break ahead, that's great. If you're the guy chasing, that's not great. So to me, it's just another empirical data point, but it's not the end all to be all for the real true evaluators.
No doubt about it. I just always think it's fascinating because I've always heard, well, did you see his 10-yard split? That means a lot, Coach Mack, when you talk about a guy getting off the line.
Sure, that's it. The 10-yard splits are look, all I can say is this. Al Davis, all right, Jimmy Johnson, Bill Parcells, they never sat at the 40-yard line. You know where they sat all the years that they were here? The 10.
The 10. Yeah. I was going to say on the other side of that, though, being able to raise your stock somewhat for the question mark guys, those small school guys, this is what the combine is for more than anything. Having a guy like Cody Malk who can actually show, I play big time ball, but this is where my measurements are compared to everybody else in other divisions and colleges.
No, that's a plus. Cody Malk here, he showed at the Senior Bowl. He's a nasty dude, but they still want to see if you've got the requisite, at least baseline physical skills to do this. And look, Ramon, you are a prime example of somebody that if you come to a combine and you start measuring just straight speed and stuff, well, they say, this guy, well, how long did you play? How long did you start in this league? You're a football player.
Yeah.
You're a football player. So to me, it's a piece of the puzzle. You've got a puzzle in a box. The picture on the box shows you what the puzzle's supposed to look like when you get it all put together. That's what these are here now. It's pieces to the puzzle.
So you saw a lot of these guys, Coach Mack, and so did we at the Senior Bowl, but there are plenty more here at the Combine in Indy this weekend. Yesterday, talking with defensive linemen and linebackers, did you have a chance to talk with anybody new who kind of stood out to you?
No, I don't talk to players. Here. Rhett Bryan goes in and gets all of that, information when they're
So you're
at the podium.
watching them.
Well, they're not doing anything yet.
But today.
I'm watching.
Yeah.
Today they're on the floor. Today I will watch them. Titans Radio's put out, probably 10 hours of content right now. It's amazing what Mike Keith has set up, with the people we were talking to. But Rhett Bryan goes in there and captures all of that for us, along with takes a videographer with him and goes and captures all of that at the podium. And then we intercut that. And then, Rhett will come in and say, hey, Mac, this kid handled himself well. This kid looked like – but I don't go in there to that because I'm doing other Coach Mac stuff with Titans Radio.
So when you go and watch these D linemen and linebackers today, what are you, Coach Mac, with the coach cap on? What are you looking for?
Well, first of all, I just want to see how they look physically. How they look physically. I just talked to a linebacker coach this morning. Early had a meeting with him. He's going to be on the floor. I worked the floor for 7 years here with him. And the thing that I said, hey, after this is over, I'm going to call you and I want to know who was paying attention, who was first in line, who moved up, who stayed, who was staying engaged the whole time. How do they interact and how do other people interact with them? All of that stuff that you could get from being on the floor running the drills for 7 years. That's what I had, and that gives you an insight to them. But physically, I want to just watch and see how they move, and that's important to watch and just see. And some of the during the years that I was doing this, Kayla, we would always every year we would meet and say, how can we tweak these drills to be more position specific, and also give our scouts and our coaches, a little bit more insight into the things they want to see. I mean, we always would rework the drills every year. I'm interested to see the tweaks that they've made on some of these drills, but I want to watch movement because movement is extremely, extremely important. And here's the other thing too. Think about this, Caleb. Say that you're the fourth or fifth person in line, and there's a distinct way you're going to run this drill, and you've had four people in front of you run the drill exactly the way everybody wants, and then you come up and start the wrong way to begin with. Yeah. That to me, I go, what the hell?
Yeah.
What have you been watching?
Yep.
I mean, have you been paying attention? All of those little minute details are things that I look for.
As much as it is of what you see on the field and measurements and this and that, how much is this like business is getting done in Indy this week?
You talking about business of the league?
Like business of the league.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. And here's what has really, again, this is my 37th combine. I've been to every one they've ever had here.
Wow.
And so here's what has happened, during the early part of the iteration of this, and you would meet at restaurants, you would meet in hotels, you would meet in hotel rooms. That still goes on, but now everybody has a suite around, the top of Lucas Oil, and they're connected, so you can walk. A lot of this stuff starts. When I was with the Rams, and the Titan suite was right next to us.
Yeah.
That's where the whole Jared Goff trade started. So there's a lot of business that goes on here. Look, this is the epicenter right now of the National Football League. Mm-hmm. Everybody is here, and I'm not talking about just coaches or general managers. I'm not talking about just personnel people. I'm talking about the financial people. I'm talking about the entire circumference of the National Football League. Everything involved here. The agents are here. Everybody is here right now because you're in such a centralized spot that it's very easy to connect. So you ask, this is the start. This is the start of it. Nothing is probably consummated here, but there's a lot that started here.
Coach Tate McGinnis, presented by Farm Bureau Health Plans, with us this morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Coach Mack, I want to ask you about two guys on different ends of the speed spectrum at the NFL Combine. Jalen Hyatt, Tennessee wide receiver, and Michael Mayer, the Notre Dame tight end. One guy, a track speed, wide receiver, pass catcher that you feel like could really help himself with a fast time in the 40. And Michael Mayer, a guy at 265 pounds who some may overreact to a slower 40 time, but had as many contested catches as anybody in college football last year. How much are you looking at just how could those guys help or hurt each other by what they run this week? How often will people kind of overreact to something like that?
Well, you don't overreact if you know what you're doing.
Right.
Number one.
Fair.
I mean, this is the ultimate keep your powder dry place. You don't overreact to anything. Now, it's a good comparison. I'm glad you brought those two up. Jalen Hyatt, we all know he's fast, correct? And we expect him to run fast time here. Where he can help himself is, his route tree at Tennessee, as we all know, because of the way the offense was, which was very successful, was not extremely varied. We want to watch, the different routes they run, how he takes to that, and then his hand concentration, because there were times, a little bit more concentrated catch to watch it. His speed is not anything that's ever been in question. Correct.
Right.
And he had a tremendous year. And here's the other thing about Jalen Hyatt. This receiver group this year is different. There's not a lot of big receivers. Now Jalen Hyatt is a long receiver, but he's not a big guy. I mean, you got big receivers. The Johnston kid from TCU. That's a fairly big receiver, but these are speed guys this year. And it's a little different. So he can help himself, I think, more in the technical drills. Right now, Mayer, look, is a really solid combat catch guy. But here's the thing about Mayer with the tight end. When you draft him, you are drafting the overall package of a tight end that can be a Y tight end. He could flex out, but you're not expecting him to be able to run a 4.5 or a 4.4 nothing. Okay, you understand who he is and what he is. The thing you watch about with an athlete like that is how quick is he and how smooth can he be in and out of his cuts? How can he get with his separation? You're not really worried about him having a real fast 40 time, because the things that you're going to use him for in conjunction with his being able to be able to block the edge, you're going to use him in some varied spots, but you're not drafting him, and he's a premier tight end. And the tight ends in this draft, I've got about 11 guys in this draft as tight ends that I think are going to be taken, fairly high in this thing. I'm talking about watch him. You're trying to watch his movement, in and out of breaks, in and out of different routes. How smooth does he look? How unlabored does he look working? But you're not expecting him to come out there and all of a sudden run a 4.4 nothing, because that's not who he is.
Coach Dave McGinnis bringing us some great analysis early this morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Live from Indianapolis. Coach Mack, we knew you'd be on time. We knew you'd bring it, as you always do, and we appreciate you.
Guys, look, you got a job to do it. That's kind of the way you do it.
That's simple, right? Coach Mack.
Thank you, Coach Mack. Enjoy the rest of the time in Indy. Have a shrimp cocktail for us.
See, hey, Ramon, before we leave, at dinner, when we had dinner at the I took our group to St. Elmo's, and we pulled up, and guess who we sat next to during dinner? And I went over there and had a nice conversation with Mike, Keith, and I did the Roonies.
The Roonies. Yes. Love it. Mag, you were in good company, man.
It was awesome. I mean, that, and we had some of the younger people with us go, who? I said, just don't worry. That's NFL royalty right there. That's NFL royalty right there.
That's so a good group, cool. Coach Mack. I know the conversation was really well.
That was great. See you guys.
See you, Matt.
Bye. Right. There's Coach Mack with us this morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Want to react to that coming up next, specifically at the tight end position, guys, because as we talk about Rain Carthon being open for business at the number 11 pick, and if you move back to about 20, the fact that there's not an elite wide receiver that might be available at that point, I might take the best pass catcher. That best pass catcher might be a tight end. We'll dive into that coming up next. It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 104.5 The Zone.
It's Ramon Foster from MyPhDWeightLoss.com. Hear me out, y'all. Again, y'all know time is ticking the clock. You're on the clock before the draft starts to get yourself together, man. The same way I have, Buck has. I'm watching my guy Ron Slay do his thing too out here, man. But My PhD Weight Loss is a plan specifically for you and for no one else, where they cultivate a plan to allow you to lose the weight that you want. So I don't care if it's 20 pounds. I don't care if it's 50. I don't care if it's 100. They've been all across the spectrum formulating plans for each person individually, male or female, old or young, that's decided, look, now is my time to be who I want to be when it comes to dropping this weight. My problem was I didn't have a plan, and My PhD Weight Loss gave me an actual plan. They formulated, told me the times, what I shouldn't be doing. It's been a really good process to me, and that's exactly what it is. It is a process. It's not easy streak, but it's something I promise you will enjoy. Again, on average, most male clients lose between 3 to 5 pounds a week if done properly. And female clients 2 to 3 pounds a week. If this is something that interests you, listen to me. Listen to Buck. Also, go to MyPhDWeightLoss.com. Again, it's MyPhDWeightLoss.com. And be sure to tell them that Ramon sent you.
104.5 The Zone at the Combine. This week in Indianapolis, you heard from Buck Reising and Coach Dave McGinnis earlier in the show. Tune into the Buck Reising Show, or as we affectionately call it, the Lucas Panzika Show, from 10 to 1 each day through tomorrow. They're up there courtesy of Scoreboard Bar and Grill, Dickens Surf and Landscape Supply, and John Roberts Nissan. For more info on our coverage from Indianapolis, Nap City, visit 1045thezone.com.
And it will be Nap City this afternoon, I think, for that entire show, considering how late they were out last night. Man. So tune into the Buck Reising Show to see if everyone is alive and well.
If the reports that I am hearing are true, struggle today. Going to be struggling in them streets, as Ramon would say.
All aboard the struggle bus.
In Indianapolis?
Streets with a K.
I think this is a lot of people's last days there.
Before testing, business
before they go home
right now. The
like a lot of reporters.
Yeah, work got to be done now for teams. Like, okay, I guess we got to pay attention. Yes, so,
topic we teased going into the break about trading back, and I wanted to ask Buck about that. We just ran out of time with him, but the meaning behind what Rand Carthon had to say about being open for business is more about trading back than it is trading up, in my opinion.
I think so.
100%.
So with the potential run on wide receivers that could happen middle of the first round, or just with a lack of top-end wide receiver talent in the first round, if the Titans were to trade back to between 18 and 22 and take a pass catcher, there is a very real chance that the best pass catcher available to you is Michael Mayer, the tight end out of Notre Dame. I think Titans fans need to be ready for the possibility that there is so many good tight ends in this thing that might be a position that you side-eye a little bit that you could take in the first two rounds, simply because if you're going best available, there's a chance a really good tight end will be available for you over these first couple of picks.
And that's what's so tricky about the draft, too. Is, you can have a player and somebody leapfrogs you to get them. And then, to your point, you just got to go best available. And if it's a tight end like Michael Mayer, I mean, you got to take that one up, especially this is the portion that's where it's like, well, Traylon's not known for his blocking. That's his challenge he got to get through. And that's okay, too. But if Mayer comes in and Chig gets a little bit better with his blocking up front, you got bookends on the line of scrimmage that can do damage. And not only that, but as Will, you said it earlier, the best pass-catching, prospect in this draft could be a tight end. You get a 2-for-1 on that one on top of Chig's athletic ability.
Well, and I wouldn't disagree with that just because of how talented he is.
Yeah.
And you see the game, especially nowadays, and just how beneficial the tight end position can be, and just how much of a difference maker mismatch it can be for teams.
Yeah.
I mean, they could not handle nobody could handle Kelsey, and we've known about Kelsey for years, and he continues to dominate, right?
Yeah.
I mean, imagine getting another tight end of that could be of that caliber, and then having Chig, who's so versatile.
Yep.
And we've heard Tim Kelly say he wants to do a lot with this offense. Like, he wants to change it up. Like, he wants to do something different. So I don't know. Like, I don't know if you could pass up on that. The only thing I would say is because this class is so deep with tight ends, you might be able to find a really good one even later.
Third, fourth round, maybe.
Yeah.
Pro Football Focus has 7 tight ends who have day 1 or 2 draft grades in their evaluation of this thing. Michael Mayer, the guy that they compared to Jason Witten at 6'4", 265 pounds, had a 6-year stretch where he averaged 92 catches and 1,018 yards a season, did Witten. He's not a Kyle Pitts, Travis Kelce, George Kittle kind of dynamic receiver, but you have that already in Chig Okonkwo.
Right.
I think there is a very real possibility that the Titans have a premium pick to spend on a tight end simply because of how much a 265-pound tight end helps you in pass blocking.
The thing
I think it's a huge difference.
Most attractive to your point, though, Will, with what they're looking for, speed and power, and as Rabel said yesterday, a tenacity for violence. Violence.
Yeah.
If you can get one of those athletic types, whether it's Mayer or Chig, be able to go in motion and play that use check role,
right?
What the 49ers have, motioning out. You don't know if he's blocking or going out for a route.
I mean, just listen to the measurables of these top tight ends. Luke Musgrave of Oregon State, round 1 or 2 guy, 6'6", 250.
And we saw him at Senior Bowl.
Dalton Kincaid from Utah, early day 2 guy, 6'4", 240. He's more of a wide receiver in a tight end's body. The projection for him. I mean, Darnell Washington, 6'7", 269. And the play style on Pro Football Focus for him is 6th offensive lineman with ball skills.
I was going to say, they barely even tapped into his skill at Georgia to me.
That is a very, very interesting element of this draft for the Titans to me. Because, again, if you're trading back and you're picking up a pick between, let's say, 35 to 50 in order to trade back 10 spots in the first round, then I think if you're not spending one of those on a quarterback, you're spending one of those on a tight end that could basically be a 6th offensive lineman and make Chigakonkwo more of just a deep threat wide receiver. Because at this point, guys, I see Chig more so as a big wide receiver than I do a tight end. Because with his speed that he ran at the 40 last year, he's the best vertical threat the Tennessee Titans have right now.
Versatile.
Versatile. Yes, absolutely. There's so many question marks around this thing with them. As far as this team goes, like I OL sounds like it's the first thing. But I don't know if that actually is, if they draft back, because you lose the quality that you were looking for. Maybe.
Because there's a lot of those guys, though.
There's a lot of tackles coming out.
And they might like
year.
somebody we don't really know. With it, Osiris?
Seriously?
I'm starting to think you go back 10 spots and draft Osiris Torrance.
Yeah. I'm on board with that one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right. You're a fan of that.
Yeah, I'm always on board with that one.
Coming up next, an eventful night in college basketball and official news for Tennessee's Zakai Ziegler, who learns his injury fate yesterday. Tough news for the Vols that we will also discuss with WATE's Reece Van Haaften out of Knoxville coming up at 8:20. Halftime of the show, we reset the headlines across a couple of ejections that maybe should have been even more ejections. Tuscaloosa is not a great place to watch college basketball right now. It's Ramon Kayla 104.5 The Zone.
8:02, good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com sports desk. According to ESPN's Jeff Carlisle, Milwaukee Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo and Nashville Predators forward Philip Forsberg are part of a new set of minority investors that have acquired a stake in Nashville SC. Also included in the group, Giannis's brothers. The terms of the investment not disclosed. College basketball yesterday, Vanderbilt upset number 23 Kentucky 68-66 in Lexington. Vandy's first win at Rupp Arena since January 2007. Jordan Wright hit the game-winning shot with under 3 seconds remaining. He finished with 23 points. Tennessee's Sakai Ziegler suffered a torn ACL in his left knee during Tuesday's game against Arkansas and will miss the remainder of the season. To the NBA, Grizzlies 113, Houston 99. Desmond Bane 30 points a game, high in that one. The Nashville Predators traded forward Mikhail Granlund to the Pittsburgh Penguins for a 2023 second-round pick. The Preds now have 13 picks in the upcoming draft. They will take on the Panthers in Florida tonight. 6 o'clock will be the face-off for that. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Into the second half of the show, rolling along on a Thursday morning edition of Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors with Ramon Foster. She's Kayla Anderson. Behind the glass, that's Jonathan Schaefer, making the show happen.
The best producer in the world!
Of the world, Craig. The world.
Of the world, and we don't settle for number 2 on this show. We only ever settle for number 1.
Being on time and
Thank
being
you.
number 1.
That's right. If you're not 5 minutes early, you're late. I'm Will Bowling.
Some of us on the station are on time.
That's right.
Buck Reising wasn't.
That's right.
Still didn't get an apology or sorry.
I was even later than usual this morning. We're still doing okay.
Yeah, you were. And you were
As long as you're
good.
5 minutes ahead and you got your stuff together,
Yeah, you good to go.
what you need.
I tell you what, I got to find a better way to get my alarm to turn on, too.
Really?
It's so abrupt.
I use my watch.
Yeah.
That way I have to turn off my phone and my watch.
Okay.
Except now my brain has taught myself when I'm that tired to just turn off my watch because I can just snooze it by hitting like the dial on my watch. So I might actually have to stop wearing my watch while I sleep because now I don't have to move at all.
I don't know how you wear a watch. I have an automatic alarm clock, so
You it hadn't failed you many times at all?
never.
Wow.
If anything, I get up earlier than what the alarm
Then
clock
what's
is.
your mental? Wow. Okay.
So my roommate Mitch has gotten a lot of love this week, but his he has the kind of alarm where there's like a seismic. It's like it shakes your entire bed
Yeah, that's what you said.
underneath his bed, and it like because when he was an accountant working 20 hours a day in busy season, when he would like get home at like 3 and then go to work at 7. He would have to like 3 a.m. and go to work at 7. It would be like, okay, I need something to literally shake my bed so I wake up.
That's just like crazy.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting right there.
It's
That's
kinda
available
cool.
for purchase?
I wonder
Yeah.
Oh,
how many people need that.
It's a hearing impaired kind of alarm clock. Yeah. That's what most people I think of that kind use it for.
That makes sense. Okay. You brought that together real well right there. Okay, well, absolutely.
Pretty cool story here just a couple of minutes ago, made official by Nashville Soccer Club. Nashville SC has quite an ownership group, which now includes Philip Forsberg of the Nashville Predators and Giannis Antetokounmpo, former NBA MVP of the Milwaukee Bucks. His brothers, whose names I will be not as good at pronouncing, also joining him, who are European basketball players as well. But how about a former NBA MVP now joining a former NFL Offensive Player of the Year, who joins Reese Witherspoon, who joins Philip Forsberg now as part owners of Nashville Soccer Club.
That's
Capupo.
Derrick
right.
Henry is the other one that he was referring to.
Yeah, of course.
Derrick Henry.
It
Yeah.
just so people didn't know.
They probably did.
Capupo.
That's
Yeah,
super
Maliava.
cool.
Capupo.
That's so Nashville. That's so
Maliava.
What other way to get this soccer club to grow other than branding with superstars like that? That's beyond cool to me.
But that's what's so big about soccer, too, in the U.S. to continue to grow the game of MLS here. Yeah. If you can start to brand and market, like Nashville SC has already done a great job of that because it's in Nashville. The soccer stadium's brand new. It's really cool. But now you're getting like big time stars and athletes. People will be like, I got to go check a game out. And guess what? Those stars and athletes, I've seen them there. Yeah. Like they'll go and check out a game, right?
Yep.
Brett Kern took his son and like took pictures just in the stands. Like there was one time I was walking behind Jayon Brown when he was still with the Titans. Yeah. Walking in there. I think people, I hope people know how much athletes that are in their 20s love soccer.
A lot.
A ton of us that are in this city that are, I don't know, like they're just
really an athlete.
that are also not really athletes. I'm not saying myself as the athlete part. I'm just saying people that are my age.
Yeah.
I know so many of my friends that have Nashville Soccer Club season tickets. And it's the only season tickets they have in the city. And they're not even diehard soccer fans. They're just like, it's affordable. It's a fun place to go. The stadium is awesome. The empanadas are unbelievable. And, I mean, it's a good time.
Well, Kayla, you gave all that credit to all the stars and celebrities and people that's going to go viral and forgot about our Will Bowling. I mean, come on, who's on the call each and every weekend?
Well, we've said that plenty of times.
He shares with Lucas, and Lucas shares with him. Let's be fair.
Lucas got his own show, and I just wanted to big up Will here. Okay,
then you could go visit Will in the booth if you'd like to.
Will has his own show. He's on this show.
But I want to make this about Will, and Will is a big part of this, man. That's all I wanted. I want to make his face turn red. Look at him.
Good Lord.
Hey, look at him. He's so red right now. I love it.
As a visual, since this is an audio medium.
Yeah. Will doesn't like credit like that either, but I just had to throw that out there for my appreciate
it. In this Saturday night.
He's the star that everybody should go see.
That's
Will
all
Bowling.
I'm saying, Kayla. That's all
there
I'm saying.
There you
go. I'm just going to go get all these recordings
there
later
you
on, just for my own personal use. 6 o'clock Saturday.
6 o'clock
Pre-game
Saturday.
coverage begins between Nashville Soccer Club and New York Red Bulls as Nashville continues its New York groove to start the season.
I might just come in here, watch the broadcast, and listen to you two and just watch the broadcast.
Well, I won't be here.
Wow, that's dedication.
I will not be in here.
Is that in the stadium?
Yep.
Oh, so you are
be?
going to the stadium to do it.
I didn't know if you were going to be here or there. Okay.
You were, though, contemplating maybe doing it in here?
Potentially.
Okay.
that
didn't work out.
No, it's not that. I just prefer the other one.
All right, well, I need to buy an Apple product then so I can watch.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Apple product.
You got to do what?
It's on Apple TV.
You don't own
I have to buy an
anything
Apple product. I own nothing Apple.
That's right.
Nothing.
Not even an iPad?
No.
Man.
I'm going to probably get an iPad.
Ooh, look at you,
That's what I would
Shave.
do. That's the one I would get.
Kayla, that's the first one to fall
An
right
iPad?
there.
Why?
Yep.
Because you could just like kind of stick it in
No.
your bag.
Ron, Slay, and I have a pact.
Oh, God.
Neither one of us is getting an iPhone unless the other one gets an iPhone, and neither one of us are getting one.
So you're going to get an iPad instead.
I like it.
I got to watch the game.
That means
and the thing is that I haven't seen all of Ted Lasso and Apple TV starting to tackle me.
Yeah.
What I would honestly do if I were you, I would just get an Apple TV because that's the cheapest option.
Okay.
You can plug it in via HDMI to a television.
Yeah, but I need to upgrade my TV too, so I don't really feel like doing both.
Well,
right
but
now.
it's easy to do.
Like, I'm not even
Apple
joking.
TV
With
thing.
my lifestyle, I'm thinking about just getting rid of. No. What I mean is getting rid of television. Period. And I'm just using the different devices.
Right.
Caleb, but you know what can happen with this iPad though?
What?
He can create an email.
I'm waiting to hear about the stupid green ass bubble.
Make a yes.
No.
He can get a text group with us.
That sounds awesome.
Correct.
Let's hear it for Jonathan F. Schaefer.
And Ron's
ladies and
on here
gentlemen.
too on the chat, so maybe he could listen to that part of that.
He can.
And we can all collaborate like the Titans.
There it is.
Kayla, you putting it together. I'm picking up what you putting down is all I'm saying. On top of that, Ron's already got a laptop that's Apple.
There it is.
And an iPad that's Apple. Shafe, come on.
Big fan of this development.
Anytime I've used an iPhone, I have absolutely hated it.
Really?
Yep.
Absolutely hated it.
I believe him too.
I know.
I believe him.
Right?
Yeah.
As I guess Buck Reising is equivalent to an iPhone to you this morning as well, since he refuses to apologize to us.
I also have to watch Will Levis up here on the screen
Yeah,
eating mayo and eating raw banana. Like I'm going to
We
turn
have too
my
many
head.
screens in this
Yeah.
room.
No, we don't. We need more TVs.
We
in
have
here.
like one.
Yeah,
I guess we have the
well,
ones in front of
we
us.
were
I
gonna
have
have
3 monitors in front of
Yeah.
me.
We were going to have
That's true.
more, but there was a construction issue. So
I actually want a
no.
monitor up there. I got to break my neck to turn around and watch the TV.
all right, we got to put in a work order from Mike and make it happen.
I don't want. Yeah, you got to email Mike. Don't talk to Mike.
What do you
Mike's
mean
great.
don't talk to Mike? You can
Mike
talk
is
to Mike.
fantastic.
He said if you want something done, just email him.
Right,
so I'll
because
email
that starts the work order to get it done.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
All right, for sure.
But you can have a conversation in the hallway, and then he'll be like, hey, just send me an email. That way I can have
And I
this on.
have. Yeah. It's for documentation for him, right? I guess.
I'm not talking to him.
Mike's a person that we quote unquote like on this show.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
like
we stand
Mike.
for no
Look
Mike.
at
We will
us.
not stand for Mike Buckner.
no,
No.
Mike Slant.
No,
Mike
Mike
is the
slander.
best.
No,
I was just,
sir.
stating a fact there. It's
Mike is
better.
terrific.
Well, we just need to clarify that.
Yeah, and
Sure.
that's exactly what it is. Mike's a gem.
Absolutely.
Not Halpert, but he's a gem.
JEM, not JIM. Or JYM.
Jim.
You said JEM?
I said
JYM.
I did say JEM, didn't I? GEM. I don't know what I said.
Jim.
Well, that was my major at Tennessee is JEM. Like JEM, journalism and electronic
Oh.
media. I'm working on getting the J capitalized.
I was like, wait a second.
But-
I was like, how is he going to clean this up? That was a nice cleanup right there, Will.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Clean up on aisle 4, Will
really appreciate
Bowling.
that.
Cleanup block. He's going to get a fine for it.
Yeah.
You've given me a lot of credit this week. I don't know
I
how
don't know
to act.
why either. I'm gonna be real
I think
with
you're
you.
getting set up.
I'm not even setting them
Oh
up.
boy.
Oh,
Says
absolutely
a person
not.
who's not set. Who says a person who's setting you up. I'm not setting you up.
Shafe, it's because our Gunners are winning a lot of games right now.
4-0 yesterday, baby.
4-0.
It's Ramon and Kayla for Old School Vapor. And you know, as a former professional athlete, I have aches and pains I deal with every single day. But I found Old School Vapor, and they are hands down the most knowledgeable when it comes to me getting some relief, Kayla.
You're exactly right, Ramon. And you just got to love the friendliness of our friends as soon as you walk in the door. Someone there to greet you, walk you around, guide you in the right direction on depending what your needs are. And get this, pet owners, this is really cool because they have so many choices for your fur babies too. If they have separation anxiety, maybe you like to travel with your fur babies and they have travel issues, they've got the stuff for you. Go to Old School Vapor's selection of over 200 legal CBD products. And they've got all the brands like Looper, Torch, Hidden Hills, and a lot more.
And Kayla, that's the thing too. Over 200 legal CBD products. Like, it's so many different items that can either help your fur babies, as you said, help you sleep, your anxiety, just a wind
Aches
down.
and pains.
Aches and pains, inflammation. Kayla, it's so vast as much information that is out there, and these products do tend to help. Again, not just that there's so many other things, Kayla, available to you, but you got to go see them, Kayla. What can they do? How can they find them?
They're really easy to find. If you like Instagram and you like the visuals and seeing what it's like in there, you can go ahead and check them out there or just Google them. Old School Vapor, super simple, and you can find your nearest location.
And to get to the nearest location, they have 4 of them. In Franklin, both ends of Spring Hill, Columbia, and more to come. That's Old School Vapor. These products contain nicotine, which is an addictive chemical. You must be 21 years or older to purchase. And no, I mean 0 sales to minors.
Thursday morning edition of Ramon, Kayla, and Will is powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors right here at 104.5 The Zone. Alongside our Vault for Life, Ramon Foster.
Yeah.
Kayla Anderson. I'm Will Bowling. As we go to the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline, and we talk some Tennessee Volunteers and some SEC basketball with Reece Van Haaften of WATE Television in Knoxville. What's going on, Reece? Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
We're doing good.
We're good. And, of course, the negative news out of Knoxville yesterday, the confirmation of a torn ACL for Zakai Ziegler for Tennessee. Just how big of a loss is this for the Vols from your perspective, just from a culture standpoint, in addition to, of course, what the Vols will be missing on both sides of the floor?
Yeah, I mean, the culture standpoint is a big one because just a couple of weeks ago we were talking to Olivier Kamwa and we asked him, who's the guy they look to bring energy on the floor? Zakai Ziegler was the answer. So that tells you all you need to know about how important he is to their energy and how much he brings up the squad. But from a basketball standpoint, if you look at the point guard position, that was the one position the Vols could not lose anything at. I mean, Tyreek Key is their backup point guard. He's not a true point guard. They have BJ Edwards, who's a 4-star recruit out of Knoxville Catholic. He gets like a minute or two a game at most, so he doesn't really play. Rick Barnes said the other day that they're going to have to play point guard by committee moving forward, so that means Santiago Vescovi is going to get some time at point guard. Josiah Jordan-James is going to get some time at point guard, but I expect to see Tyreek Key slide into that starting point guard role now that he's coming back from injury. The update was that he's going to play on Saturday against Auburn, so he'll slide into that starting point guard spot.
And Reece, it was interesting, too, watching Jemai Mashak even play a little bit of point guard against Arkansas. Just what did you kind of make of Tennessee's response after seeing Zakai go down on Tuesday? Because I think, to be honest with you, I was pleasantly surprised just how well this team kind of bounced back. A, because it was such a tough injury where that entire arena was just totally silent. And B, obviously, just because of what they're missing, not having Zakai on the floor.
Yeah, you know, it's almost as if the seniors are like, it's senior day. We want to win for ourselves, but we also want to win for our fearless leader on the court, our Energizer Bunny. They came back and all guns a-blazing there at the end of the game and blew out this Arkansas team that's actually not a bad team. They had one of the best recruiting classes in the nation coming in. They haven't exactly shown it in SEC play, but, you know, it's hard to talk about what the future looks like, though, because it's like you get that burst of energy right there, but it's how you respond in your next game. And then SEC tournament play, are you going to get that double bye? If they beat Auburn, they will get that double bye. But then you got a tough competition in the SEC tournament that's as wide open as it's ever been. And I just don't know how you recover from that long term as the season winds down here in the last few games of the season and then heading into NCAA tournament play. That's going to be the biggest question of it all. But I will say they responded in a big way in the game. Now it's how they respond in the next few games.
And that's the thing, Reece. We've seen in the past, you know, there's teams that have really surprised in the NCAA tournament. I know with Tennessee, it's almost been opposite. You've seen really good regular season play, and then they've been bounced or surprised early on in the tournament. So this is a different situation, it looks like. Playing good basketball right now, but like you said, missing Double Z. But if there is one thing to rally around, it might be that. But what else do you feel like they have to step up here with Auburn down the stretch, ending out the regular season, then heading into tournament play?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Kayla. You know, it's almost as if their defense plays well, they win games, which is a weird thing to say because everyone's like, their offense isn't good. Their offense isn't good. If they play their best form of defense, they're going to be in every game. So if you see the game they lost to Vandy, and then I'm trying to remember who they lost to after that.
Missouri after that.
Yeah. Yes. Their defense was actually not great in those two games, and that's why they ended up losing those games. Think about if their defense was good in those games, they would have blown both those teams out because they were within 2-3 points in every other one of those games. So the key for them is to continue to play great defense. Now the question is, if they run into a skilled big, Liam Robbins, for instance, are they going to be able to slow that big down in order to win the game? Because those are the guys they seem to struggle with the most.
You covered the team last year as well, covered this team. You're at almost every single game there at Thompson-Boling Arena. How would you describe, I guess, the chemistry between this team? Because we've seen it seems great, right? It seems like they all buy into the team atmosphere. But is there any guy that like sticks out to you that's kind of like the one that's the gritty one, the one that kind of can rally the troops here with Double Z out?
Oh, that is a good question. Let me rack through some names here. I think Josiah is an important one. Josiah Jordan James, Triple J. 'Cause Rick Barnes said when he returned, he took a load of weight off the rest of the guys when he returned. Because before that, when Josiah was out, Zakai Zeger was struggling a little bit. There were times where he was turning the ball over too much, or he was picking up fouls when he wouldn't. And then the game that Josiah came back, Zakai played his best game. Now, unfortunately, Zakai's out. But I think that load is going to fall on Josiah Jordan James moving forward, which is a good thing because Josiah embraces that pressure. Because when he was asked, what does it mean when you get all that put on you? Because Rick Barnes said he takes a load off of everybody. He said, at the end of the day, it's just basketball, and I'm just here to play a game, and there are bigger things in life. So he can embrace that pressure pretty easily.
When it comes down to this team post Zakai for the rest of this year, how do you see the offense evolving? Will it slow down, speed up? Will they be more ready to play big ball instead of letting Zakai do his thing? Where will it evolve?
Yeah, that's a great question. The Vols already play a slow offense to begin with, so I think it'll be more of the same in the slowness. I could see more of a three big lineup where you see like Olivier, Urosh, and Tobe Awaka out on the floor together. I did ask Olivier about that in the postgame the other day on Tuesday after they won that game. And he said that, we have so many rotations we can use. So if it's a three big lineup, we can handle that. We're used to that. And, who's going to want to come to the post when we're playing three big lineups? So I could see more of a three big lineup moving forward. I don't know how much they'll run that, but it'll be I think we'll see that at least once or twice a game in the rotation for like 5-10 minutes. But I think it's going to be more of the same. It's just going to be a little weirder seeing Santi running the point guard position at times and Josiah Jordan James. Because if you remember, Santi came in his freshman year and played point guard a little bit. Yeah. And Josiah Jordan James came in his freshman year and played point guard a little bit. So it's going to be a throwback to 4 years ago a little bit.
Yeah. That's interesting, them saying, they'd rather play the three big game because the games that, they've lost earlier in the season was two bigs in a sense that they kind of got pushed around a little bit. I think about Arizona a little bit and Vandy for sure with how their big played against them. And so does this make them grow up and realize we got to start playing a style of bully ball that everybody does to us inside the paint?
The guy, and I'm going to go a different direction here, but the guy I think is going to be the guy that's the key in those post defense is Tobe Awaka.
Okay.
He's developed the most. He's the 3-star freshman out of New York. He's actually got a little Zakai in him in that essence because Zakai was a 3-star freshman out of New York as well. He brings that bully ball. Early in the season, unfortunately, he didn't get a lot of minutes because he was a freshman, and Rick Barnes isn't exactly going to just throw you into the wolves because B.J. Edwards doesn't get a lot of minutes either. So he's only going to play you if you're ready to play. And Tobe's starting to show he's ready to play. He's the best rebounder on the team. He's one of the most physical guys. Another key that's going to be important down there is Urosh. He plays that villain role, Urosh Plavšić, but he is important to their physicality and their defense. So you're right. They are going to have to bring in more physicality in the post in order to win some of those games because we all remember what happened last year in the NCAA tournament. They ran into a skilled big and Hunter Dickinson at Michigan, and he owned them. So if they run into a skilled big man again, they're going to have to be physical and make sure to body that guy and make sure that big man knows that the paint is not open.
Is this, one of Rick Barnes' biggest challenges this late in the season where like how you lose a star, the adjustment period of like, okay, we got a week or two. No, you got one regular season game left plus the tournament. Is this probably one of his biggest challenges as a coach?
Oh, man. That's a great question. I mean, he's been doing it for a long time.
Right.
So it's hard to say yes to that answer, but I would say it's a huge mountain to climb moving forward because, like I said earlier, it's the one position you really couldn't afford losing anyone at, and he's top 2 defender on the team, top 3 defender on the team, and he's the only point guard they truly have right now. So it is a massive mountain to climb moving forward. I can't say it's his biggest challenge because what did he have, like 20, 25, 30 years of coaching?
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
But it's definitely up there.
Reece Van Haaften of WATE in Knoxville, our guest this morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Reece, it's so cool just as a alumnus of the university seeing Tony Vitello after a baseball game against Charleston Southern almost open his press conference by talking about Zakai Ziegler and saying, that's the kind of guy we want on our team. And if I'm a 6-year-old in the stands at Thompson Bowling Arena, I want to be like that guy. It's just kind of cool to see the cohesiveness around the other programs up there in Knoxville right now, and just how good of a vibe is there just on Rocky Top across all of those sports? Because to me, it's just unbelievable hearing things like that from a coach that maybe 5-10 years ago would have nothing to do with anybody on the basketball team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know the old saying, success breeds success. That's kind of what's happening here on Rocky Top. Danny White's been doing a great job of hiring coaches that have built programs around here. I mean, you got a great soccer team, you got a great tennis team. I could just keep rattling off all the sports that aren't the big ones, but the big ones are starting to come along too. I mean, Rick Barnes is this thing rolling with Tennessee basketball, ball football seems to be back under Josh Heupel. But I will say this: Tony Vitello has been Zakai Ziegler's biggest supporter. I mean, he's been at games last year wearing Zakai Ziegler's shirt. Zakai Ziegler, I don't even know if Zakai Ziegler knew who Tony Vitello was until Tony started showing up wearing his jersey, but then they started bantering off the press conferences at each other. Zakai was like, oh, I love Tony, and Tony was like, I love Zakai. But it seems like Danny White has everything in place right now and going the way he wants to. And, I mean, it's hard not to support a program when in an AD when the football team is winning 10 games now after it seemed like they were in the pit of misery there for a long while. And then you got Rick Barnes doing his thing. And then the women's basketball team under Kelly Harper is still figuring it out a little bit, but they're destined for the Sweet 16 probably. So it just seems like success breeds success is the old saying I just come back to.
And you can't forget about the NFL Combine this week because you've got plenty of Vols up there. And I know that that's like a big step for Tennessee to start getting some players consistently in the league, you know, and that then breeds more excitement at the college level.
Yeah, the Combine's big. I mean, you know you're going to get Jalen Hyatt in the first round. Darnell Wright, the offensive lineman, is getting a lot of pub down there after the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
A lot of people were like, yeah, he's like his draft stock is flying up right now. And then Hendon, obviously, he can't do much in the Combine, and he didn't do anything at the Senior Bowl. But from what it sounds like, all the scouts have been impressed with his makeup and his personality. Which isn't surprising if you've dealt with him. He's always been beloved around the area. And then, I mean, the rest of the guys, you got Byron Young and Jeremy Banks and Paxton Brooks. We'll see how the chips fall with them. But, yeah, as you said, if you get guys in the NFL draft, it's like Alabama. You just keep bringing more in because you can just pump them out.
Never heard of that school.
Reece, we've been
sorry about that. I probably wrong school to bring up.
Reece, we've been asking everybody on the show that has anything to do with Tennessee the over/under on Jalen Hyatt's 40 time this week at the Combine. We're setting the over/under at 4.3. Which direction are you going?
He was a track superstar, so he's gonna in high school. So he's gonna break out his track shoes and burst that time. When I was actually talking to him at the Orange Bowl, he said, just wait till I run my 40.
Yep. I saw that.
And then his draft stock will fly up. So, and his dad was confident about it too. So I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a name and sets some records there at the Combine.
Get out of here. That's insane, man. I love it. I love it, though.
Absolutely. Reece Van Haaften, our guest this morning on our boat, Kayla and Will. Reece, really great to catch up with you, man. Appreciate the time.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Reece.
it, Reece.
Absolutely. There's Reece Van Haaften of WATE out of Knoxville. And I think everybody has gone under 4.3 at this point.
So what was this report that he might not be running? Is that fake news out there?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, supposedly
news.
somebody was saying that he wasn't going to run the 40. I'm like, are you crazy?
Man, the TV broadcasters can't wait to cut to his time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's appointment
what you
television.
go there for.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's interesting right now talking about the next step of Tennessee basketball with Zakai Ziegler out. I don't know what it is. If I just expect this team to play inspired in honor of Zakai Ziegler, maybe it's the orange tinted glasses. I don't know what it is. I just really liked the way they responded in that second half against Arkansas. I feel like the offense was a little bit simpler.
Can I rain on your parade a little bit?
Go ahead.
May.
Because they'll be playing a handful of games without Zakai, so then other teams are going to have tape on them, and we'll find a way to play them.
Right.
So,
Right.
I totally
too.
agree with what you're saying in terms of playing inspired. I'm more curious to see what it's going to look like 3 or 4 games from now.
I would agree.
My thing is, like I said, the automatic step up aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? Like when your star go down, everybody has to play a better role.
And that's the thing, I think, is that Tennessee's not a better team without Zakai Ziegler. It's not at all what I'm saying. I think it's going to force guys who haven't been as locked in on the offensive end to lock in even more. And I think specifically now, Jemai Meshack was doing a good job just forcing the ball down low to Tobe Awaka, Urosh Plavsic, and Olivier Kamwa. I think the biggest stress now is not on the point guards that are going to fill in for Zakai. I almost think it's more on the big men to pick up the offensive production that won't be there anymore.
Yeah.
And the wings and Julian Phillips and Josiah Jordan-James getting to the basket. So interested to see who that point guard is. I think we're going to still see a lot more Jemai Meshack.
I hope so, though, man. And this is the thing, too, about him being able to step up. Like, you don't know. Like, he probably played a position like, oh, does Zakai be back in? Not no more. Not for the rest of this year. It's on you. And I like that. I like being in those positions, though.
That's when you grow the most sometimes, right?
It is.
He reminded me so much of J.P. Prince back in the day for Tennessee basketball, like the wing that just gets thrown in to play point guard. J.P. was good at that role, too.
J.P. was good.
He was one of my favorite Vols growing up, for sure.
J.P. He's probably listening this morning.
Really?
Yeah, he's in the area.
Let's get him on the show.
We doing?
Not right now, like obviously, but like, let's get him on the show sometime.
For sure.
Ramon, there are so many people that are just in your contacts who you just
know, right?
Who I grew up like wearing their jersey, watching games. Like I grew up with a headband because of Slay.
Yeah.
Watching basketball games. Him and Wayne Chisholm both with the headband.
We got you out here, Will. Say less.
I bet.
And Nashville SC just put out a video, too, of the Antetokounmpos.
That's right.
Maliava.
Yes.
Yep.
It's pretty cool. If you've not seen that documentary either, you should see it.
What documentary?
On them growing
up.
On
the Antetokounmpos?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's so good.
Nice. Coming up next, recapping a crazy night in college basketball, including in Lexington. Vanderbilt Commodores took an L last week, but they bounced back against the Kentucky Wildcats, and they might have helped Tennessee in the process.
Yeah.
Coming up next, Ramon, Kalen, and Will, 104.5 The Zone. Hey, what's going on? It's Will Bowling. Is your heating system making some weird noises? Well, maybe it's time for an HVAC professional to check it out. And our friends at Lee Company have a limited time offer for a $30 heating system tune-up. One of the expert technicians will perform a 22-point inspection and seasonal cleaning and maintenance to help you stay ahead of the cold weather. You know what's even better? Every time a Lee Company technician is in your home, you can see what they see without climbing in the attic or crawling under the house. Thanks to their visual findings platform, they virtually take you wherever they go. So don't let your home heating fail this winter. Call Lee Company at 615-567-1000 or go to leecompany.com/promotions to get your discounted heating system tune-up today. That's $30 for a heating system tune-up with one of their expert technicians at Lee Company. 615-567-1000. That's Lee Company, all you need. It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors, right here at 104.5 The Zone. And one of the many reasons why Jonathan F. Schaefer is the best producer in the world is because when Ramon starts humming a song, Schaefer will just play it coming back from break. Which is exactly what's happening right now.
That's what's happening. I'm letting him know like he the best producer in the world. You hear me? I had to let him know that because he played this track. And I'm like, well, you made that statement. I was like, that sounds just like that song.
It's a good song. I like Doja Cat. Guilty pleasure artist.
Really well put together.
Hot or cold with Doja.
Her song with Post Malone on his new album, banger. Banger and a half even.
Some people just work well with others and collaborating. Like, not everybody can do it well, but I feel like some artists are so good at collaborating.
Yeah, some are. I heard your collaboration word right there, and I'm not sure
I didn't even mean to use that.
Okay, well,
no,
in that case,
but I just really mean that with some artists.
Take a shot.
You're right. Some are good with finding the right people.
We
I thought
hope that-
Bieber and Post
That's what
were
I'm
really
saying.
good.
And
Yeah,
Bieber's really
Bieber.
good at collabing.
Bieber's good.
Really good at it.
That dude don't get enough credit. Or he's
I don't care if you like him or not.
polarizing.
He's a good talent.
I like
he's
Biebs.
awesome.
He's a great talent.
Justin Bieber's great.
Why was his wife getting slandered like
Haley?
a week or so ago?
Who is Justice Beaver?
Because there's still drama with the old girlfriend, Selena Gomez. I don't know.
Gomez is really like that out here in these streets?
I don't know.
I loved her so much growing up. Selena Gomez. Wizards of Waverly Place.
Is she on Family Guy, by the way, too?
No, that's Mila Kunis.
She's in that
Kunis, yes.
murder mystery.
Yes,
There's like a
on Hulu.
series that a lot of people love.
Yeah. Season 2, I think, just came out. Actually.
Yeah.
They're bullies out here, though. She's a small old girl, too. She out
Selena-
here trying to fight people.
Selena is one of the biggest stars in pop culture, period.
Wasn't she with Ashton Kutcher?
Ashton Kutcher.
That's Malia Kunis, right?
Yeah, that was also Mila
that's
Kunis.
Kunis.
They're married.
That's Family Guy girl.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, correct.
I'm mixing it
And
up
that
so
70s
much
show?
right now. Yeah. But he was also dating, was it Jodie
Demi
Foster?
Moore.
Demi Moore.
Talk about a little older.
Yeah, I mean, see,
Respect.
they broke up well. That'd be you. That'd be you.
That'd be
the lady
you.
from earlier. The actress.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
Okay.
Will's taken.
Experience
I am taken.
send Will back to the
Will's
streets.
taken.
Is Will taken?
Yes,
Yeah.
we've already established
He's
that.
declared it on air?
It's not like
we've talked about this like 3 times in the last 2 weeks.
not like
Privately, we have.
the bachelor
we've
party
talked about it on
taken.
there. We talked
but-
about it there yesterday.
Yeah, we did.
You
we
think
said
I'll
her
be listening to
name.
you?
Yes.
I don't be listening to you.
You
Oh,
told
God,
me
here he
this
goes.
week you want me to have more credit, so I know you're listening to me.
I do.
Robert Walsh is in the control room right now, by the way, as well.
Oh, Bob?
Berto.
Yeah, but he's walking out to take his constitutional. So
Bert
he's fine.
Hawkinson is in the
I was
building,
going to ask
baby.
Robert if he's prepared to host with Lucas when Buck doesn't show up today
I'll
for the
answer
show.
that for you. Answer's no.
Okay.
How tall is Ashton Kutcher?
He's tall.
I'd say somebody
You wanna
that's
try
actually
that
tall. Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher.
Kutcher. He's
Not
probably about
Kutcher.
6'2". Is it what is it?
Kutcher.
6'1", 6'2".
6'1",
Yeah, no, he's
6'2".
tall.
He is, survey says, 6'2".
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I figured I'm good with heights. Terrible with names.
Now,
No, you're not. You
good
played
with
an
heights.
entire
How
game
tall
for
am
a
I?
year about
I know
heights.
we did. Like,
How tall am I?
Joel, you 6'1".
6'2",
6'1", there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, Kayla 5,
Ding, 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 ding.
8.5, 9,
5'7".
5'7".
Yeah,
See?
I
There
look
we go.
tall, though.
Respect.
There we go. See,
Right. That is tall.
I'm good
What am
with
I
heights.
saying? That is tall.
yeah, that is tall. Ron Slay 6'6".
You?
Me 6'6".
There we go.
6'6", 5'8", if we're being exact.
Schaefer?
6'1".
6'1".
There we
Yes.
go.
Schaefer and I
We're
are
a
about
tall
the same.
show.
We are a tall show.
We're a tall show.
But we're not short shaming either.
With tall
Don't
expectations.
want no short man. Don't
Will didn't know that song either.
Still
don't.
Anyway, Vanderbilt beat Kentucky in Rupp Arena last night.
Vandy, man.
Yeah, look at Vandy flexing.
They make shots inside 5 seconds left in
Ooh-wee.
games now.
and
3 times.
Liam wasn't available.
I'll take the surprise on my voice on that one.
Liam wasn't available.
He was.
Liam Robbins.
No.
Somebody said, I think Savage said this. Kentucky's a bad matchup for the Vols.
Yeah.
It's pretty
That's
much what
the truth.
and it's proven that
That's
too.
what I said.
Shafe said
That's what
that
Shafe
too.
said.
I mean,
Yeah.
Wes Rucker on Twitter,
Radio Pro.
GoVols247 made the same point.
Yeah.
text all my Kentucky friends last night and it's
Did
like,
you?
hey, how y'all doing?
Uh-oh.
How y'all doing out here today? You
Beating
know?
Vandy at home isn't for everyone, Ramon.
No, it's not
It's not
for
for
everybody.
You're just checking on you. Checking on you.
Mm-hmm.
No, but a good win for them. And, man, Auburn and Alabama last night played a wild basketball game. And all of Alabama's bench came off the bench when the Crimson Tide threw the basketball at Joni Broom's head, basically, trying on an out-of-bounds play. Not throwing it at his head out of context. He's trying to throw it off broom of Auburn and have it be out of bounds off of him, and he was laying on the ground, and it kind of spiked him in the head a little bit.
Yeah.
And we had 2 ejections for Alabama, 1 for Auburn, but Alabama was shooting free throws after all of it, which didn't make much sense. But Bruce Pearl was a little bit fired up on his post-game radio show afterwards.
Just a wee bit.
And slammed a headset and yelled, "Ridiculous!" and different exclamations at his radio show. Take a listen to this.
Club played its heart out tonight, Bruce.
Yep, we played well. We played hard. We should have won the game. Very, very disappointing. Obviously they made some plays. We had a hard time staying in front of them. At the end of the day, I'm just sick and tired of our guys getting smashed down there. Smashed.
Yeah. That was Travis times 100 last night.
The final possession in regulation, Coach. Message to your ball club after this one, Bruce.
Just we played hard. It played well. If that's the number 1 team in the country, come on the road, a hostile environment. But we need that one to get the NCAA, and we didn't get it. Dylan Cardwell's hurt. He's probably not going to play against Tennessee because of his injury. We need his physicality. He got fouled down there at the end of the game. So,
Coach, just talk about what Saturday represents now.
we'll get ready to play Tennessee. We were incredibly outmanned at the end. Had 4 guys on the bench in foul trouble. Joke!
Joke, he said.
There was like a lot of emotion. Like it was like he was okay, and then it was like he crashed, and wow. And then did he cry at one moment? It sounded like he teared up.
I heard a tear drop.
Holy smokes!
I don't blame him the way that game went.
Wowzer!
It sounded like he thought about the fine, Kayla. He thought about the fine.
He did.
Yeah,
I don't blame him at all.
Buddy,
is this what it's like at Alabama?
I think somebody told college referees that the same holding calls that Alabama doesn't get called for in football, that same standard is now given to Alabama basketball.
My goodness.
615-737-1045 is the number. Coming up, 4th and final quarter of the show, final hour on the Thursday morning edition. And Chris Ballard is having to make comments about that quarterback from Alabama who doesn't look bad. After his owner went ahead and already made comments about quarterbacks in the NFL draft. As we begin hour 4 next on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 104.5 The Zone.
9:02. Good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com sports desk. According to ESPN's Jeff Carlisle, and since confirmed by Nashville SC, Milwaukee Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo and Nashville Predators forward Philip Forsberg are part of a new set of minority investors that have acquired a stake in the franchise. Also included in the group, Giannis's brothers. The terms of the investment not disclosed. College basketball yesterday, Vanderbilt upset number 23 Kentucky 68-66 in Lexington. It is Vandy's first win at Rupp Arena since January 2007. Jordan Wright hit the game-winning shot with under 3 seconds remaining. He finished with 23 points. Tennessee's Sakai Ziegler suffered a torn ACL in his left knee during Tuesday's game against Arkansas. He'll miss the remainder of the season. Grizz 113, Houston 99 in the association yesterday. Desmond Bain a game-high 30 points. The Nashville Predators traded forward Mikhail Granlund to the Pittsburgh Penguins for a 2023 second-round pick. The Preds now have 13 picks in the upcoming draft. They will play the Panthers in Florida tonight. 6 o'clock will be the face-off. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Into the fourth and final hour. The fourth quarter begins on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors. On the show that gets better in the second half and puts on more steam for 60 more minutes. With Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, and Jonathan Schaefer, our producer.
The best producer in the world!
My name is Will Bowling. Ramon, the Arizona Cardinals became the only NFL team to do something to their players, according to a recent report.
Boy, that leaves a lot to the imagination.
I mean, a coach got fired, new head coach. They lost the line. What could
They're all playing Call of Duty.
The Arizona Cardinals are the only NFL team to charge their players for meals that they ate at the facility during the offseason.
Powdered eggs, baby.
What?
No way.
And then they were given an F- for food quality.
Yeah.
Dang, Arizona.
Says if players would like dinner, it will be boxed up for them. But players reported that the team will charge you via payroll deduction, which is reportedly the only team to do this. Players reported that if you work out at the facility after the season is over, the team charges you for every meal eaten at the facility, which is, again, apparently the only team in the league that does this. Ramon Foster, your thoughts?
Dang.
That's like I always say, going from college sometime to the NFL is a downgrade, y'all, as far as expectations and what the availability of everything. No, I saw one yesterday, and it's going to be interesting because I think the NFLPA did a survey of amenities, availabilities, training room, cafeterias and stuff like that, like family room after the game, which is a non-factor to me because I didn't really go in there like that. Mm-hmm. But apparently some places are like parties. Like the family room goes in and like there's food laid out. I'm going to be real with you, Will. In the summertime, that was a policy of ours. Like it was like only like $5 to a player. It was only $5. But you know what happened? We went to the front office like, hey, we're here trying to do the best we can in the offseason and we're in building. We're around. Why are we paying for food here? And you know what they did? Done. It was done. You didn't have to pay for it. And then it also got way better than that because they got like personalized like cooking and chefs inside of it too. And it was more or less like rookies, young guys, single guys. Eat here and also take something home. So I can't believe Arizona, though. Like, that's the place of, like, health and, like, retirement and just rejuvenation.
That's a place where a lot of guys like J.J. Watt wanted to go because it's a warm weather city. I mean, they play inside most of the time unless they open things
for
up.
real.
However, I just feel like Arizona continues to get, like, punched in the gut, and for good reason. It's their own fault.
It is.
Like, but it's becoming a place like, why do you want to go there? I'm not just saying because of the meals. I'm not going to say that. But,
Well,
there's just one thing after another. But I will ask this, Ramon, because if you are rehabbing still during the off season and you're doing workouts at the facility, to me, like not having to pay for your meal just goes along with that because you're there, you're dedicating your time, you're doing what you're supposed to do. And then when you're asked on top of that, like, oh yeah, by the way, we're billing you. That just seems weird.
That's weird to me. It is. And like I said, that's the reason we said something about it. A lot of the times when you walk into those buildings, however it operates, you just go with it. And that's as players, too, because, well, heck, the older guys ain't saying anything. Why should I say anything? Yeah. And we ended up getting that changed around. So, again, I do say that, like, it becomes a downgrade sometimes depending on where you go and play. The teams that we knew were ahead of the curve, well, it was particularly probably 1, 2. Miami, as far as overall treatment inside the building, as far as, like, care and just availability of stuff. You know the other one? Seattle.
Let's go.
They have cryo chambers. They have like on-call massage therapists. Like now, and this is part of our NFL negotiations too, as far as the CBA. Like I said, there's so many ins and out of CBAs and what you need and want because owners only going to spend what you probably ask them to or require them to across league basis. They had, I think, like 2 cryo chambers 24/7 or during work days, massage therapists and all those types of things. We looked at them like, we ain't got no cryo chamber. We don't have a paid therapist on. We don't have a paid chiropractor. And now they've made it to a point because we had to negotiate certain things that should be standard inside of the CBA to make the franchise, the clubs, spend money. They don't want to spend money at all. At
Clearly.
UT, how much is available?
Oh, my gosh.
In college?
Even the non-revenue athletes at Tennessee.
Yeah.
You have your own dining hall underneath the football practice field called Smokies. Smokies is heaven. Because you just went to Gibbs, right?
Yeah, we just had Gibbs.
You just had Gibbs.
Yeah.
Smokies, I don't know when Smokies started. I think it was when Dooley was there, when they built the add-ons
so it was a brand
to that
new.
facility.
No, it wasn't Dooley. I never went there with Dooley.
I don't know when it would have been then. I mean, it had been there for a little bit when I was there because I started as an athlete in Tennessee in 2015.
I met Butch. When did Butch come along?
Butch was, 2012?
So
2013?
It was around then.
Yeah. I think so. I think that's about right.
Yeah.
But Dooley led the facility upgrades.
He did.
Like, that's the thing.
Good for him.
He's the one that was like knock down this wall, move it here. Like he was too hands-on with the renovations they did to that place. But no, I mean, even for us, like full nutrition bar, full weight room just for the Olympic sports. Football had their own that was new and shinier and better. I mean, we didn't get as many perks as football, but we still had just for our team, we had 4 GA trainers because I was hurt the entire time I was there. So I'm in there getting ice and stim before and after practice, all the time. And there's 10 GAs sitting around you need me to get you a bag of ice? You need a cold tub, hot tub back here? The contrast stuff, all that. We had everything we needed.
Other than the pay, it's a downgrade going to the NFL as far as overall
and now
treatment.
some of them are getting paid.
And now they're getting exposed. NFL clubs are. And that's something we've talked about here. It's the care and upkeep of your players. And I think a lot of owners, coaches, and just culture say, man, we're at least paying you $650,000. Go hire your own. But it shouldn't be that way because if you want me to be the best and you know that I'm getting the best treatment, why not have somebody in-house that you trust? You know what I'm saying? And that's the biggest issue right there.
Tennessee, for football, they would have sitting on the counter of the nutrition bar after practice because our practice would get done about an hour before theirs. So we would finish up on the indoor practice field because Tennessee doesn't have an indoor track. So our meeting place for practice was the indoor football complex. We would do runs a lot of the times on that indoor turf field if football wasn't using it, which in the winter they weren't off.
Stokely didn't have an indoor? I thought it did.
Stokely.
Oh, that's right.
Stokely was knocked down at that point.
What?
Stokely did have an indoor track, but it was knocked down right around the time we were there.
How old I am.
My brother and his friends would break into Stokely to shoot hoops at midnight.
Stokely so easy
because they knew the door. Yeah, there was a door that was open that was easy. But
oh my gosh.
We get done with practice before them, and there would be on the nutrition bar. There would be 10 different types of shakes lined up because you could do made to order. Hey, I want a vanilla peanut butter muscle milkshake that has protein in it, and they would put the fresh peanut butter they make right there in it. But then on the other side of the bar, they would have dinner from Smokies downstairs that was only for football. So we would walk in after practice. We had just done all of our recovery. We had just done everything. We would walk in after practice. doing like whatever, how many miles we did that day. And we couldn't get the shakes because those are only for football. We could get like apples, peanut butter sandwiches, like a protein bar, or we could ask for like a muscle milk or cherry juice. I drank a lot of cherry juice back then.
Cherry tart juice.
But everything else, the food and the like made to order shakes were only for football.
It's for the big boys.
You
Like
know,
literally better than a lot of NFL teams.
all of this recovery stuff is just getting introduced in my
Yes.
era. We only had Cliff Bars was a hot thing, which when
And
you
those aren't
find
even
out,
good for you.
I know.
They're awful for you.
They're not good for
Bars,
recovery.
The Honey Zingers. We
Yeah.
had
Okay.
Gatorade Orange and Lime in there.
Yeah.
Get the
That
cans.
was it. And we had cherry tart juice.
Cherry juice is
tart
good,
juice.
man.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great for inflammation.
Potassium.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great for inflammation. That's all we had. We were just getting introduced to it.
One of our favorites is on the line before we go to
Oh.
break. Andrew in Portland.
We got Andrew on.
Never heard of
The
him.
man who bears a striking resemblance to Patrick Mahomes joins us on the phone lines this morning. Hey, Andrew. What's
Hey,
up?
Andrew.
Kermit?
Dang, you like me, but you're going to be disrespectful. I look like Patrick Mahomes.
Hey,
I think Patrick Mahomes is a nice
Super
looking
Bowl
dude.
champion.
See, there you go.
Not only does he sound like Kermit, he kind of resembles Kermit. Anyways, okay, so I'm going to do something that I never thought I would do.
Oh, wow.
And I agree with Buck Reising on
Oh, God.
yeah, so I'm going to draw a quick comparison to a hockey club here and a football team here. The Predators are clearly selling, and they're selling because they had that 2017 run to the Stanley Cup, and they've been chasing it ever since. They realize they've gotten old, they've kind of gotten outdated on how their play style is, and now they're realizing and getting draft capital and moving on from a lot of folks, not the big names like Forsberg and Yossi. They ain't going anywhere, but my point is this. Buck has convinced me that it may be time to try and deal Tannehill. I don't know what we would get for Tannehill, but Tannehill is not the quarterback that will make players better like a Tom Brady or an Aaron Rodgers. And we just don't have the weapons. We don't have the weapons moving forward. We're not going to have them next year. It's not a great free agent wide receiver market. Sure, we've got young talent, but we've also got Willis, who I think we need to figure out who we have. Personally, I don't think he's anybody, but if they don't know yet, then next year is the time to figure it out because, I mean, why not do it with a new general manager? Worst case scenario, you get a top 5 pick because he sucks. Best case scenario, you find out you got something and you build with it. I don't see us winning anything next season, so I don't see any reason in paying Ryan Tannehill the money that he's owed. That's what I got, y'all. Have a good one.
Andrew, say it with me real quick, man. Say the R word. Say it.
What R word?
Rebuild.
Ribbit like
Rebuild, Andrew.
Retool.
You can't put it together.
He's not saying
You
it.
can't say it.
He's not saying it.
Retweet.
Rebuild.
There it is.
There it is.
Andrew in Portland, ladies and gentlemen.
Andrew in Portland.
So,
Let's react to that coming up
interesting.
next.
No, it's a reset.
It's collaboration.
Reshaping.
Collaboration.
Reshaping.
It's a retool. It's a reload. It's ridiculous.
Andrew, I think Andrew's on the right track for a reset of this conversation. We'll rebuild the conversation when we come back. But he's a little bit off. And where he's off is you're more likely to trade the running back than you are the quarterback.
Okay.
Coming up next,
Collaborate.
Ramon, Kalen, Will, 104.5 The Zone.
Take the surprise out your voice.
It's Ramon Foster for Window Nation. If you've been noticing your energy costs have been rising, nationwide they're up 14%, and it's not too late to fix your high energy bills, all while getting off-season prices from Window Nation. Beat the rush with 2 free windows with every 2 you buy. Plus, pay 0 down, make 0 payments, and get 0% financing for 24 months. That's 2 years paying nothing. You can call them at 866-90Nation or going online to windownation.com where you can save up to 30% on your heating bills. That's because 43% of your utility bill is heating costs, or increase the value of your home by up to $12,000. And if your windows are sticking, drafty, cracked, hard to open or lock in when they close, yes, you need new windows. The longer you have old, drafty windows, the more money you are wasting on your heating bills. Over time, Window Nation has saved their customers over $60 million on energy bills. And this is the thing, too, about it. You know you're going to get a really good service because the average installer has over 16 years of experience with over 20,000 windows installed. Again, buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free on any style window from Window Nation. You plus pay nothing with no interest until 2025. Best decision you can make. Again, call 866-90-NATION or go online at windownation.com.
Thursday morning edition of Ramon, Kayla, and Will is powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on a 104.5 The Zone with Ramon Foster and Kayla Anderson. I'm Will Bowling.
A little big.
Taking your phone calls at 615-737. Nope. Okay. 104.5.
My favorite storyteller.
Biggie.
Anyway, talking Titans and talking NFL Combine this morning. It feels weird. I'm like looking up golf leaderboards right now as y'all are vibing to this song, and I couldn't get
This is our generation.
We're not going to stop you.
This is our generation.
We're not going to stop you, Will.
I'm not going to listen either. No, you're not.
Talk over the beat. This is the perfect talk over beat.
Well, I'll continue doing my job.
Come on, see. We're going to get them there.
Like, I want to go out and play a game.
I like it, but
let's go.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Let's go.
So Chris Ballard gets to comment about Bryce Young. Rand Carthon comments about Ryan Tannehill, which we'll get to coming up in just a moment. And we react to what Andrew said right before the break about going ahead and offloading Tannehill, trading Tannehill. Well, I think the place we have to start with that is the guy doesn't have much value on the trade market because it makes a lot of financial sense for the Titans to just cut him. So why trade for a guy that teams, if teams learn that Ryan Tannehill is open for business and on the market, then I think they could imagine that it could just be a post-June 1st release. And they could just wait.
Yeah.
And not give up anything.
And they won't get him for OTAs and minicamp and stuff like that. That's very fair right there. To offload Tannehill, what if Tannehill is more valuable than we give him credit for, though?
I think he is. I'm just saying that if teams learn that he is available for trade, then I think general managers are putting two and two together then that if you can't find a trade partner, the Titans would just release him. So, with the cap situation that he's in, I don't know that there's a ton of value for him compared to what you could have gotten for him in the past. I mean, I just don't think it makes sense.
I guess the question...
This team's not getting a new starting quarterback this year.
No, I'm convinced that that's not happening.
I kind of roll with that. And my thing is, where do you link Tannehill? Atlanta, Tampa.
New York.
Which one?
Jets. Yep.
New York, Jets.
And maybe Vegas.
Carolina? No.
I could see Vegas.
You see Vegas?
An extension with Sam Darnold.
That's what you're getting out of Derek Carr, though, too, isn't it? And
Exactly. It's the same type of. Besides Aaron Rodgers, who, by the way, who wants that guy? I mean, I know talent-wise, yes, but
I'm with you.
You get what? They're all kind of just there. They're just that.
These quarterbacks have too many question marks and baggage coming along with them that you try to make value out of.
They're older.
And my thing is, too, is there's a certain section of this fan base that said, yes, Derek Carr. But I'm thinking to myself, heck, it's other teams that look at Derek Carr and be like, he's just like Tannehill.
Right.
So which one do you want? Like, I like Tannehill, the way he can play when he's healthy. I think it's fair to drop that off right there unless you're saying cut him.
Right.
If we're saying cut him, okay, I get that more than trade him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it makes more sense, right, for Derek?
Right.
In my opinion.
If you're going to trade either Tannehill or Henry, it's going to be Henry.
And see, that's where I always have the issue. Because if you ask almost anybody, where do you build a franchise at? What are most going to say? The quarterback.
It's quarterback.
It's quarterback.
Even here.
Until it's Derek. Henry.
Even here.
Yeah. Even here, you still say that too?
I still say quarterback.
You still say quarterback.
Have to.
So.
But that hasn't been the perception.
It hasn't been. It has
for several years.
Yeah, and it's not an exhausting conversation because you still got them both, and they both are still very important to this Titans organization, this fan base, and to their team too. So I think they're better together than they are apart. But if we're looking at value and where this team is at because it's draft season, free agency's coming up, I'd much rather see what I can try to get out of a Derek than I would a Tannehill.
Here's what Rand Carthon had to say on the Buck Reising show yesterday on this topic and the questions he continues to get about Tannehill.
Whoever said that he wasn't going to be here? Mike's never said that. Amy's never said that. No one's ever heard me say that. So I'd like to constantly answer this question around Ryan's status. I personally don't think it's fair to him, and that's why I said that in my press conference. Ryan's under contract. No one from our side has ever said he wasn't going to be here. So that narrative was created outside of our building. And so in my mind, I don't feel there's a need to even answer it, Sure. And because in all fairness, I didn't ask you your contract status.
It's a contract year. we could talk.
You know what I mean? And so, I want to be mindful and respectful, of Ryan and where he is. And, again, I know this is a tough time for him, maybe a tough time for his family. But Ryan is under contract, and so I don't feel like – I honestly don't care to or don't want to constantly answer questions about Ryan's status and other players on our team status. Like I've said before, like we're not going to negotiate in public.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that. We're going to keep family business in the family, and when we're ready to make an announcement, we will. And that's how we're going to be.
A lot of that sounds so much like Mike Vrabel, but that is Rand Carthon on the status of his quarterback that he's continued to be asked about.
Yeah, I think that's fair from what Rand had to say. About as stock of an answer you can get, but it's true.
Yeah.
And like I said, that was my thing too. And I said it earlier this week. I was like, man, if I was Tannehill, I'd want out. Because it's the never-ending conversation. What are we going to do with him? Because you like him, don't love him. He's good enough, but not cute enough. And you're just like, golly, what are we going to do? You know what I'm saying? And then you got to fall to the side of where Derek is in his career. And it's always contingent on Derek and not the quarterback. When we all have kind of said to a point, man, we want to see more through the air. We want to see more creativity with how Derek's ran. And that's my thing, too. And we even heard from Tim Kelly say, what? We're not going to change a whole lot. We'll add a wrinkle or two here. That means Derek going to get the same type of run patterns we've always kind of seen. Does Derek deserve more in the passing game? Yes, he does. But you also need more weapons beside Derek in the passing game and the run game when it comes down to the evolution of this offense. And Tim, I don't know if we're going to get that out of him at least while Derek is still here.
And I get, like, Rand, you could tell he was a little bit frustrated at this point because he has been asked that since he pretty much arrived here. But, I mean, that is the nature of the business in terms of media having to do their part. And really, it's because we are trying to answer the fans' questions. And, he was clearly at that point a little bit frustrated just hearing again, he can't really give you much. And it sounds like they're not going to do anything with Tannehill. But then again, in the past, we've seen Mike Vrabel get on there and say, we're not going to do anything with AJ, like, as long as I'm head coach. So it's hard to always believe 100% what everybody's saying.
Yeah.
Because it is a business when it comes down to it.
Here's where I had a little bit of an issue, was him saying, well, it's been put out there that the Titans are cutting Tannehill. No. Everyone has been saying that it could happen because it could still happen. Because when you look at the salary cap Olympics that this team needs to perform and the current state of this franchise, which lost 7 games in a row to end last season, yes, there's a lot of context to that, not denying that. Is it fair to Tannehill? No. But is it fair to anybody under contract to then have their contract talked about? If we're going to use that one example and extrapolate it throughout everybody, was it fair to Taylor Lewan? Was it fair to Robert Woods? Was it fair to anybody? We have to use that same principle for everybody involved.
Yeah,
you have a quarterback right now that if you cut post-June 1st designation, cleans up a lot of problems with your cap space. Until a statement comes out that says, definitively, that's the guy, then that question's going to be continued to be asked, and it's fair to be asked.
And it's not a dumb question.
No.
It's a question that's going to continue to be relevant because at this point of last year, we thought it was a dumb question to keep asking John Robinson about A.J. Brown's status, and the guy was traded on draft night.
And I
don't want to hear anything about media's asking dumb questions.
And I can
That's
tell
crap.
you the conversations that were made on a previous iteration of this show where we constantly looked at each other and we would hear numbers being offered on one side and possible numbers from the other side, and we went, I don't know. This could happen.
And to be fair to that, too, in the context of that, we got a different vibe at this point last year with A.J. Brown than we ever have with Jeffrey Simmons in this part of the process. I think we feel more confidently about this organization coming to an agreement with Jeffrey Simmons than we did with A.J. Brown this time.
The speculation toward the quarterback is fair. It is.
It is fair.
Even though I think he's going to get one more year, even though I think he's a better quarterback than he's been given credit for.
Thank you.
Hey, you play behind that offensive line with no weapons for the better part of 2 years and play most of last year injured. So if we're going to focus on 3 interceptions in the playoff game, which is fair, then you also have to add in the other aspect of it, too, to balance it out.
And the point I'm making, I should probably explain a little more, that Yeah, on paper, are you going to get more for Ryan Tannehill than you would for Derrick Henry in a trade? Yes. But comparatively now, Ryan Tannehill is not at the peak of what his value has been over the past couple of seasons.
No.
That's the point I'm making.
Yeah.
Is
That's
that
fair.
given the contract situation, you're not going to get as much for Ryan as you could if everything was right and the timing was right.
Mm-hmm.
The timing is more right with Henry. So while, yes, the point is absolutely correct, that the Titans right now, if you went on Madden or went on a trade generator and tried to trade Ryan Tannehill, you'd get more capital for him than you would Derrick Henry. That's true.
That's true.
But compared to what their max value could be if the timing of their contract lines up that makes sense for a trade, Derrick's contract makes a lot more sense. And Derrick's situation relative to his value in his contract and in the rest of the league makes a lot more sense to trade.
It does. But the closer and closer we get, the more I think they'll run it back with what they have here and just build on it. Like, what doesn't help also, you only got 6 draft picks. There's some prime ones in the first 3, but you have 6 of them, and that's not one way to build. So I do think also going into this month of March, tampering, I would hope that the Titans are going to be very active in free agency because there's a real need to be active too.
And let me just reiterate this. On this show, for the past how many weeks, we have been saying over and over, there's so many moving parts, there's so many open doors that haven't been shut yet that it's just, you can't just say this is what's going to happen and you can give a definitive answer right now. It would make sense for Ryan to be back, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've all agreed. We've all agreed with that. But there's so much else going on right now that it's hard just to say, okay, for sure, that's going to happen, right? If you're GM Rand Carthon or if you're Mike Vrabel.
I think we'll see a bigger cut before we probably see a trade with this team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would be Bud Dupree.
Yeah.
Is the prime candidate.
Especially from what Buck was saying. What did he say earlier about, like, they're trying to work a deal down, meaning maybe ask Bud to do a pay cut?
I think they're trying to work a lot of deals down.
By the way, Bud's a Tennessee Titan. It's unfair to him to talk about that.
Oh, of course. Dumb questions from me.
I feel like Bud might be sticking around. I don't know.
I think it's smart.
I think so, too.
Although I just looked at an article in NFL Network, and it had the Titans picking up Foster Moreau, too, as far as the best fit for the Titans to get.
Wouldn't hate it.
Yeah.
Well, this was also from Rand Carthon's conversation with Buck yesterday. Any questions about this team not going for it this year and tanking for Caleb Williams? Not a discussion Rand Carthon's going to have either.
Can you imagine a conversation where I walk into a room and ask Mike Vrabel, is there a way that we can tank this year? That's not how Mike's wired. Mike's a winner. And so regardless of what's going on around us, who's taking the field, the objective is to always win. And so I wouldn't even – first of all, that's not who I am. Second of all, I would never approach, Mike with a thought of us potentially tanking.
So the question then becomes, guys, is it worth doing a rebuild if you're not willing to completely rebuild?
I think the thing is this so too, Will. You can have a rebuild and still be actively participating too.
Can you?
Yeah, you can. You can have old and young guys being transitioned in and out while still holding a level of 9 and 7. I think that's fair though too. It's you're never going to suck this bad as an organization.
Mm-hmm.
Are you?
Then how do you get your quarterback for the future?
Get one in the 20s, man. Get one that nobody assumes, or second rounder. Like, you got to build a force field around a guy that's not a top 10 dude. And that's the thing, too. How many top 10 guys have been hot garbage?
Well, let's think about this. Ryan Tannehill, where he was picked in the first round?
Yeah.
That's what the Titans just did.
10th.
They built around a guy who was in the 20s in the first round. They literally just did that.
It's so hard because the quarterback is what makes everything move. I get it. I get why that's why we keep on talking about it. But I just believe this next year is all about getting everything else right. And then next year, I know you're putting it along, further down the line, but then next year, you're going to go out there and compete. You just heard Rand say it. I'm sorry, Mike Vrabel is not going to go out there and tank. Like, that's just not what Mike Vrabel is going to do. Now, if they don't play well, they don't play well. And guess what? Maybe they could be in position to draft a quarterback next year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe there's more guys out there. Every year, it's all about the quarterbacks. It's not like there's never guys out there.
Yeah. It's again, you're not gonna suck enough to go get a top 10 guy, Kayla. To that point, like you don't have a head coach and you don't have an owner, I think, that wants that either. And I'm thinking, like, my follow-up question to Rand in hindsight would be, where does the tank conversation come from?
I think
is it owner?
This is an organization that believes if they fix the offensive line and adds maybe a weapon, can win the AFC South. The disconnect you have right now is you have a fan base that's like, cool, bro, we want to compete for a Super Bowl. And that's right now in this moment this year is where you're having the convergence of those two different expectations.
100% right. Couldn't have said it any better.
That's why I said it.
That's right. I think this team believes it can rebuild around its quarterback and running back, add some speedy receivers, a left tackle, maybe get another veteran wide receiver or pass catcher in any sense in the free agent market, and trust that that's good enough to win this division. And they're probably right. If they make the right moves, if a left tackle doesn't flame out for them again that they draft in the first 2 rounds, yeah, you're right there. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is as elite as many are making him out to be. I think he's really good. I think he has elite potential. I don't think he's there yet.
Right. You want a team that can develop, build, and just continue to have depth when it comes down to competing. That's simply what you want as an organization. And then you find those 1 or 2 special generational pieces that you say, yes, this guy's a titan. This guy's a go-harder around our quarterback, around the organization. Like, I think what Rand and Vrabel are doing now is saying we have to find our identity for years to come.
And what did Coach Mack say? He said it all kind of starts here at the Combine, right? In terms of having conversations. We're going to see the calendar now. The rest of the NFL calendar, there's a lot of dates on there that you have to, get things lined up. So people are going to have a little more patience because we're going to keep talking about this. And pieces are going to start falling into place, but it's not going to just happen at the snap of a finger.
Jags get to play all the division winners this time around, too, which helps you quite a bit.
Good.
It does.
Helps you quite a bit.
Good.
615-737-1045, the number. Final headlines from the NFL Combine, Jalen Carter's status, what Chris Ballard had to say at the podium of interest. More coming up in one final segment of Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 1045 The Zone. It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. With Ramon Foster and Kayla Anderson, I'm Will Bowling.
Yeah, you are.
Thank you. Ramon's hyped me up more than I'm comfortable with this week.
His name is Will Bowling.
There it is.
I'm great with it.
There it is.
I'm not complaining.
I'm not even trolling anything. Well, I'm just here to support my friends, man. Committed to Kayla's event,
of course,
April 25th.
Will never got back to me on that.
Did I not?
No.
I mean, he's busy downtown life.
I was going to see you in person today. And
I know. I got an okay from him and him.
I was out late last night. I forgot to turn my alarm.
I was like,
on.
well,
I'm sorry.
Will,
wait,
are you
I'm
too
not really
busy?
sorry.
No, I'm not too busy. Of course I'll be there.
April 25th is we don't have any details yet, but I'll just give y'all a date.
But it's happening.
So this is
Give y'all
basically
a
a
date.
save the date, right?
Save the date.
Save the date.
Save
Yeah,
the
of
date,
course I'll
Bo.
be there.
Get this
Friends.
thing going in the right
I don't take
direction.
vacation.
You don't
Well,
take
that's a
vacation?
you problem.
No, tell them, Kayla.
Is it though? I don't think it is.
Yes.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, it
When you
is.
commit to a lot of things, you have to realize
You know
that
what?
you still
That's
got to
valid.
do time for you.
Not
That's
next
fine.
week, but the week after. Let's all remember Ramon's out all that week. Let's just remember. Let's make sure everybody was informed.
It's been
I
a
know
while
it's my
since I had a
choice.
day off, too.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying on a Tuesday, I'll always be here.
You need mental resets.
Tuesday.
dog.
Actually, that's true because you had to go out east for like one day, but that was it.
Why is
Yeah,
it
most-
Tuesday?
Yeah.
What's a Tuesday?
Your event.
Yeah.
Oh, on a Tuesday. Okay,
Yeah,
I
that's
thought
what
you
I'm
meant
saying.
just in general.
No,
like,
I'll be there.
I thought I was going to say the club was going up on a Tuesday.
I think
We're going clubbing on a Tuesday.
Man, that's-
no.
the amount of checking out I do when
No.
I go home, where I'm just like, I'm not near my phone, I'm not near anything. I just
That's all right.
sit.
We do it during the show. We
I'm
understand.
When you get older,
That's
Will,
fair.
you will cherish every moment you can get to get out
You know,
where you are.
actually-
I do now.
Strangely, you say that. Last night I was working on taxes. That's not the relevant part. The relevant part is didn't hear from anybody for like 3 or 4 hours, and I went, "Wow, this is interesting. This is kind of nice.
Phone
This
is
is kind of
dry.
nice."
Right?
Phone was kind of dry, Shay.
There was also part of me that went, "Uh-oh, did my Android finally break?"
He would have gotten another
I actually
Android.
didn't feel that way. I did that for you, Mo.
I appreciate that.
So Chris Ballard dispelling rumors that the Colts will not be interested in a short quarterback.
Wait, not just the Colts, but the
Indianapolis Colts.
That's right. Thank you, Rep Brian. Ballard saying, I think we're seeing today that quarterbacks come in all different shapes and sizes.
Oh.
We've seen that the quarterback position here in the past, we've had guys that have been under 6 foot be successful. Adding as well that he says, I don't necessarily know if trading up is the right course of business.
Ooh. Hints.
So said he's got to know that a guy is the guy for the next 10 to 15 years in order to be willing to trade up. And I don't think I disagree with him. In the past 4 NFL drafts, 10 of the 13 first-round quarterbacks taken were by teams that did not execute a pre-draft trade.
Or that's a smokescreen.
Who's to say?
But that also goes back to our last conversation. Will, Kayla, legitimately, what is a top 10 quarterback pick if we're trying to get that lottery guy? You know what I'm saying? Where are the hits and misses on these things other than the fact they feel obligated to go do that? We got to pay him because we got his 5th-year option. He's like, nah, I don't mean that.
It's the most dishonest time of the NFL year.
We got lies.
It
and
is like
trade
Christmas,
rumors.
kind of.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
When Rhett comes back, we'll have to work on that.
We'll work on that, absolutely. After we get Kayla's intro done.
Yeah, Bert.
I'm not blaming Bert
you've
for that.
She's not blaming
I'm
you,
not
by the way,
blaming
Bert.
Bert
Now
for
that you
that.
got your headphones on, Bert, we know it's
No.
not your fault.
I got my dog Bert.
Because
lightly
Bert is
stressing.
working.
Bert, would you
He's
like
out
to,
here working.
would you like to add anything?
Twerking.
What?
All of the above.
Are y'all having fun?
Yeah, that's
Are
what
y'all
we're doing.
having
We
fun?
wish you were having fun with us, though, Bert.
I
always
wish I
have
was
fun.
having fun too. You know what it's like when you're doing a show, you're producing a show that's like 300 miles away.
Yes.
I feel like I had a house full of brothers, and we're all rumpusing around together all the time. And then they go to college, but I'm too dumb, so I go to community college. And then when I talk to them, they're all like, "Oh, bro, these parties are so awesome!
They're so awesome,
You should
man.
have seen this keg stand that
Tin
Buck
Forcer.
did. Oh, he did a sick keg stand." And meanwhile, I'm at home, trying not to let my mom smell me smoking in the basement.
Yeah.
That's what this is like.
Yeah.
Sure.
So every time they talk about something cool that happened, I just want to go, no,
Right?
no, it's not that cool.
You should do it today. I'll laugh so hard while I'm listening.
You should.
It'd be great.
I am distraught.
Are you prepared to just host with Lucas when Buck is late again?
No, I don't see any scenario of that.
I am not cutting his mic off when he pukes.
Oh, perfect.
Everyone's going to hear the uke of Buck.
Yeah, I'm here for that type stuff.
It might sound like this.
Yeah.
Wow.
He did have like an oyster this morning.
No.
Already. Yeah.
No, he had a shrimp cocktail this
St.
morning.
Elmo's.
No, yeah, they bring around the St. Elmo's shrimp cocktail. Last year they
We're
brought
doing
it
this.
to
We're
us.
doing it again. We're talking about all the
No,
cool
no,
stuff
they
they
brought
get
it
to do
to
in
us last
college.
year.
Oh, you got to go to college.
They brought
I'm
it
the
to us
dumbass
last
that
year. I
has to sit
graduated.
in community college.
I
I'm the guy
graduated
that's
from this.
taking basic math. I'm the guy that's learning about Moby Dick and stuff, having to read books that people read in 10th grade. That's what I'm doing.
This is very true, Bert. This is very
They bring
true.
it to you and they're like, we want to keep the draft in Indy, so please accept this gift on behalf of St. Elmo's.
I like it in Indy.
I'm dropping out.
You dropping
You're
out?
dropping out. Don't.
Okay, Kanye.
Hey, join us. Join the community college over here.
Yeah, that's what we are.
Join us, public school
College.
kids.
We'll drop back in at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's where we'll have a Friday to act like. And Ramon Foster tells you what to act like until we talk to you at 6 a.m.
No Twitter spats, because you must remember your Twitter fingers